The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Ex-Jets quarterback Boomer Esiason ripped into Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields. We'll play you what he said, plus the latest on the Jets and the Panthers as a Jet injured player could be coming back. We'll talk about that and much more. Dylan Tereman will join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Justice's numbers are not good from this game. Is he going to be your quarterback next week, or would you consider?
Man, what kind of question is that?
How much worse can it get for Aaron Glenn's Jets team? Can he salvage this season and give us something to be excited about? Every step of the journey, the Jake Asman Show will have you covered, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and you like the video. If you haven't already, we are presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. I want to shout out everyone who supports the show on my Patreon, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Huge shout out to Mikey Quinn, Felicia Rosansky. They both signed up for the year earlier, earning 10 raffle tickets in our weekly series. Also, Matthew L. signed up for the year yesterday. And a huge shout out to Kevin Donahue, Matthias Morales, Ben Hambrook, Dawn, Cash Money Mike, and Max is NYJ for being our most recent Patreon subscribers. Could not do the show without everyone on Patreon. So thank you for your support. With that said, let's say hello right now to our guy DT, Dylan Tereman, who joins us in his weekly spot. Dylan, maybe one day we will do one of these weekly hits and the Jets will have a win. What do you say?
Yeah, it's about time for that. Hopefully one of the next three. I know you guys are going to be in attendance with the Great Asmaniacs and Shiner community with the tailgate. My cousin will actually be in attendance there. So hopefully you guys get to shit talk her as a Steelers fan. But yeah, we got to start finding a win here on this damn schedule, Jake.
It really is unbelievable. But I mean, that is the situation that we find ourselves in as Jet fans. And let's start with the latest injury report. There is, I can't believe I'm saying this, real positive news with this one, because I never thought the Jets would really need Josh Reynolds to play, but here we are. Josh Reynolds, who did not practice yesterday, was limited today, which is a positive sign towards him potentially playing on Sunday. And look, without Garrett Wilson, who again didn't practice today, so I don't know why Aaron Glenn is so combative about this idea of Garrett potentially playing Sunday, but Reynolds, they kind of need him right now. No, I mean, who else can you really trust to catch passes without Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, we certainly need Josh Reynolds, and I think this is finally going to be the game where Stone Smart and Jelani Woods get a little bit of run. I understand that they're listed as tight ends, but they're also kind of like power slot wide receivers with their size, frame, and athleticism. So I think it's going to be a heavy Josh Reynolds, Mason Taylor, Breece Hall, Andrew Beck. Can we get him first read in the progression? I know there was a play on the All-22 where Beck was the first read in the progression. So it's going to be all hands on deck. And I felt like when Garrett first went out of the game, he just kind of ran off the sideline after like a first or second down run. And I immediately was like, oh no, like this is going to be bad. And then he came back in and then he went back out after the 2nd and 8 out route that was egregiously missed by Justin Fields. So yeah, it's scary hours for the offense when G5's not out there.
I mean, for them to have any chance in this game, Dylan, they need Justin Fields to run some more. And the fact that he came out yesterday and said that his legs have not been feeling good the last couple of games, and we just saw the Jets still stick with him the entire game, even though we know if he can't run, if he's just in the pocket, he's below average to be kind, just bothers me even more. But assuming he's healthier this week, in his own words, he's feeling a lot better. They have to run some more with him. Otherwise, I don't know how they're going to score any points.
Yeah, and, you know, the timeline of suffering the leg contusion against Miami, it did kind of look to be hampering him a little bit against Dallas last week. And obviously, they just didn't do any of the keeper stuff. I think he might have had like 3 designed keepers. There were some, zone read things where he handed off the ball like 80% of the time. And then you hear the comment that he has a leg contusion. It's like, that was the coach's easiest path to go to Tyrod Taylor in that game. You could have just said, hey, you know what? We wanted to play him through the contusion, but we realized at the second half of this game, which is really a game and a half after the contusion even happened, that he just didn't have it. And we had to make the switch to Tyrod Taylor. So like that was the easiest way for the coaching staff to just say, hey, we had to make the best interest in the team, go to the backup for the rest of the game. Now, this week, Fields' legs feel a lot better, like he just said. Now you ramp him up and get ready to go back out to be the starter against Carolina. I felt like the timing of learning about the injury based on what the offense has looked like since Miami, when it looked pretty okay. I understand a lot of it was garbage time, but it looked pretty okay running the ball, Justin Fields running the ball, throwing on time. Now all of a sudden he's hurt and everything goes to shit, and the offense can't afford to really go to shit because the defense had been playing so bad. So now the defense turns it around, and maybe I shouldn't have joked so much about having a 9-10 loss to the Denver Broncos last week on the channel, because we actually had it for most of the game, or, part of that game, it was 10-9. And then obviously we get to safety, but you just wish that somebody, you or me, or Nick Shine, Dom C, anybody, Jets Chaos, go make a 15-yard play or 2 8-yard plays, get us in field goal range, actual Nick Folk field goal range, not the phantom 65 to 68 yards that we keep talking about. But yeah, that was like the easiest way with the leg injury, to just say, hey, Justin Fields doesn't have it today. We're going to go to Tyrod Taylor, and nobody's going to bat an eye. Now we have too many questions, and Justin is still looking over his shoulder, which is exactly what you said you didn't want him to do.
It's hard to believe it's gotten this bad this quickly for a brand new regime. It really is. Now, Boomer Esiason, who knows a thing or two about what it's like to be the Jet quarterback, on his radio show on The Fan, went up and in on both Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields. And the comments at the very end of the clip, pay close attention to, because I don't know if Boomer really is aware on the inner dynamics of how the Jets front office actually works. This was Boomer on The Fan talking about this debacle on Sunday.
I wish I had a direct line to Aaron Glenn on Sunday. I wish I would have been able to say to him, as opposed to Garrett Wilson yelling at him as they're going into the locker room, I wish I could have said, look, let's sit down, Justin Fields. He doesn't have it today. And let's put in Tyrod Taylor. Let's see if we can win this game. Because we have a chance to win this game, but we have to get some sort of offense going in order to win the game. And it's okay that we're sitting our guy down. We're going to play this other guy. And then after the game, we're going to laud Tyrod Taylor if we win the game. Tell everybody how great he is. He's a great backup. He's a great teammate. But Justin Fields will be starting our next home game against Carolina. That's the practical, very matter-of-fact way to do it. It's not like you drafted Justin Fields. It's not like you're Chicago.
Yeah.
And you're year 2 into Justin Fields. That's not, you're not Carolina, and you're year 3 into Bryce Young. You know what I mean? Like, you don't owe this guy anything.
Except the money that you paid him in the offseason.
That's somebody made that decision, and whoever made that decision at the end of the year most likely should be fired.
Here's the problem with that, Boomer. The guy who made that decision is the head coach. Aaron Glenn wanted Justin Fields. This was his choice. And if you know anything about how the Jets dynamic works with this new regime, Aaron Glenn has final say. Muji works for Glenn. They work in a tandem, but ultimately the final decisions are signed off on by the head coach. He has the most power other than the owner with the organization. That's the reality. They wanted Justin Fields. They're the ones who gave him the $30 million guaranteed. We understood why at the time. It's still low-level starter money for any quarterback that's not on a rookie deal. It's bridge QB money. We understood it, but this was their choice. And it's another reason why I don't have a whole lot of faith in Aaron Glenn right now, because if he was this wrong about Fields, we now trust him to be able to coach up and identify and pick the right quarterback in April when they're sitting there potentially with the number 1 pick in the draft. So it's all bad right now, DT.
Yeah, see, I think that they could get the decision wrong on Justin Fields and still actually get it right with the rookie quarterback. And maybe that's like where the disconnect is with your thinking and my thinking specifically about this. The money is so secondary to me, like $40 million over 2 years, $30 million guaranteed. Like you said, it's the lowest non-starter quarterback money entering the season. Obviously, Daniel Jones at $14.5 million became the starter in Indianapolis over Anthony Richardson, but they didn't predict that when they signed him in March, or else I think that price tag probably would have been closer, or if not more, than what Justin Fields got if any team was looking to start Daniel Jones as their starter. So the money to me is like so far down the list of issues. But also when it came to the quarterback, once they decided to not go with Aaron Rodgers, and once they told us they pretty much weren't going to get a quarterback in the draft, I basically said, there's such a short leash on how long this quarterback's going to be our guy. We don't think he's going to be the guy for the future. I'm okay with whatever happens at the quarterback position. Obviously, I want it to be good, and I thought Justin Fields would be good. I guess I can't turn around now that it's bad and be like, this is the worst decision they've ever made. It's not the worst decision they've ever made. It's probably not even the worst decision they made all offseason. It just happens to be the quarterback position. But there was never a long-term tie with Justin Fields to this team, so I guess I can kind of get over that quicker. And then when it comes to the new guys, there's so much distrust right now between the fan base and this coaching or this regime and front office coaching staff. If we don't trust them to make the picks, why do we trust them to trade the talent to go get more picks for them to take this year? Like, that's the part that also is the disconnect with me revolving around this trade deadline. If we don't trust these guys to do anything, just sit on your hands, keep all the talent you have. However many games you win, that's your record and you own it. Don't strip the team of talent so for them to say, oh, you know what, down the last 10 games of the season, we didn't have anybody because we traded Quinnen and Quincy to San Fran. We traded Brees to LA and we did all these things. And now we have no talent. We have to rebuild. That's almost too much of an excuse for them to get the second year for me. So in one hand, I do think the Fields move was a bad one, but it was still the best that they probably could have made, the whole choose your mid that Buffalo Jet fan was coining. And then also, I still think they can make the right decision in the draft because I think Muji had a better 2025 draft than even the 2024 draft of Joe Douglas. So, like, there's signs to point that the past decisions aren't going to necessarily hinder the future decisions, in my opinion.
I think the problem is, though, even if they pick the right quarterback, do you feel any confidence in this coaching staff coaching that guy up? Like, the way Fields is playing, he's playing scared, and I wonder if it's because he's being coached. Hey, man, don't turn the ball over. We're going to play good defense. We're going to run the ball. We're going to be able to win games really ugly. And like, he's gun shy. And this is not a rookie quarterback. Justin Fields is in his 5th season. Like, he should not be having games like what we just saw Sunday in London. I just have very little faith in this coaching staff. Plus, they knew Fields was banged up. They knew. Obviously, we didn't. We're questioning how come he's not running more. Well, Fields told you he wasn't feeling good. His legs are banged up. Well, they knew that and still didn't go to Tyrod Taylor at any point. If Justin Fields can't run, he's worse than Zach Wilson as a pure pocket quarterback.
Yeah, it felt like the whole kind of storyline for the offense was no urgency, no trust, no success. Like, you're never going to win that way. It felt like Engstrand didn't trust Fields if it came down to like intermediate to long passes. Everything outside that Arian Smith deep ball to the left side that he like threw way outside, like almost hit the sideline. And Arian Smith was running towards the numbers. Like, he was just way off on that only deep shot of 10 yards. So Engstrand not trusting the quarterback not trusting himself with the zone reads, making the right decisions, protecting himself as well because of that leg contusion that we found out about, not trusting Garrett Wilson on the all-22. There's so many opportunities where not even like, and JT O'Sullivan of the quarterback school, he calls it capital A anticipation, which means like you threw it way before the break even happened on the route. You could have thrown it at the time of the break, and he calls that lowercase anticipation. There was like 3 or 4 opportunities where he had the lowercase anticipation opportunity and still turned it down. So like, you're not trusting Zach Wilson to win on his one-on-one routes, even when he's not lined up against Pat Surtain. So like, when there's that little, so much little trust in the offense, nothing is really going to work. And I'm almost to the point, and I know Nick Shine talked about it this morning on your show. Is there a part of Engstrand that feels like he can't succeed anymore with Justin Fields, especially when he doesn't have his legs? Like, maybe Engstrand secretly wanted to go to Tyrod Taylor because it's going to make him look better. I know, the offense kind of as a whole looked bad. The offensive line took turns being bad. The tight ends couldn't really block. Nobody was really getting open outside of Garrett more often than not, but it's just a lack of trust right now. So maybe if they actually get their guy at quarterback, because I don't consider Fields their guy other than the fact that they gave him a short-term deal, they go get their guy in the draft and Engstrand has a whole season to prepare for that offense. Maybe something can happen with the rookie. So I still think that there is enough trust in the offensive side of things. Now, situationally from the head coaching side of it, I don't trust any of that because that's a completely separate issue, not related to a rookie quarterback, but that's never going to win you football games.
But the problem is that could ruin a young quarterback if he's being coached to play scared and not take chances and he can't.
Well, I
turn
don't
over the
think
ball.
Engstrand will coach up a young quarterback to be scared. Maybe
Yeah, but Justin
AG
Fields is playing scared.
Right. Maybe AG will, kind of say that to Engstrand to kind of coach through to the quarterback. I think Justin Fields is playing scared, one, because of the injury, and two, because that's kind of what he's always done. In Pittsburgh, he played scared all last year. He went 4-2 as a starter, but it was never really like those wow throws. There was that tweet earlier on, and I think you liked it, of mine, from Kurt Warner talking about the 4 different teams. You lose because your quarterback's aggressive. You win because your quarterback's aggressive. You lose because your quarterback is not aggressive, and you win because your quarterback is aggressive. We lost because our quarterback wasn't aggressive. I'd rather lose with Justin Fields being aggressive. And they talked about it. And I think if it's not Justin Fields in this offense, like Tyrod Taylor, again, I think they're going to be more aggressive with a Tyrod-driven offense. I think there's something going on between Engstrand and his feelings about Fields. But again, it's an AG move to go get Fields. So I think there's just so much disconnect between head coach, quarterback, and play caller. That's just too much disconnect is going on where I think Fields is shot.
I just think when your head coach is that scared, it has major concerns about everything. And also
100%.
The situational stuff is a real problem too, no matter who the quarterback is, right? Like if you don't know the field goal yardage at the end of the game, if it's a 61-yard field goal and you're talking about it being a 65 or a 68, your job's to know that. Glenn doesn't call the defense. He doesn't call the offense. So he's supposed to oversee all that. In his own words, which he said ad nauseum this summer, he said the last 4 minutes of each half belong to the head coach. They've been atrocious at the end of each half. And it wasn't even just this game. This game was, glaring because we obviously are all sitting here watching it because it's the only game on and a national audience got a chance to see the full Aaron Glenn experience. But Michael Nania had this graphic on his X account that I bookmarked to show on the show today. These are all the different decisions that Glenn has made that have been terrible from a situational standpoint. So let's start with the Denver game and work our way back, right? Because we all just watched it. So these are blown 4th down decisions. You ready? 4th quarter, 10:23 to go. Jets are on their 30-yard line. 1 yard to go to gain a first down. They're up 11-10. Every analytic will tell you you're supposed to go for it. What do the Jets do? They punt. Broncos then drive for the go-ahead field goal, never lose the lead. Now let's go to Dallas. 2:58 to go, opening quarter. Jets know they're playing the best offense in football going into that game. They're at the Dallas 43-yard line, 5 yards to go. The game is tied at 3. Once again, these are just the 4th down decisions. The analytics, anyone with a brain will tell you, go for it, especially if you're the Jets and your defense at this point is horrific. The Jets choose to punt. Cowboys then go right down the field, drive for the go-ahead touchdown, never lose the lead. Now, this is where Glenn starts to become a hypocrite because in the previous week, Dylan, the Miami game, 2nd quarter, 4:23 to go, Jets are at the Dolphins' 36-yard line. It's 4th and 5. They're trailing 10-0. Analytics say kick the field goal, make it a 1-score game. He chooses to go for it. Fields fumbles. It's a turnover on downs. That hurts the Jets. Week 2 against Buffalo now. 7:05 to go, 3rd quarter. Jets have the ball at their own 28-yard line. They need 1 yard to get a new set of downs. They have Justin Fields. They voted for the tush push. Every analytics says if you're down 23-3, doesn't matter where you are on the field, you need points to have any chance to catch up. What happens? Jets decide to punt. The result, Bills drive for a touchdown, take a 30-3 lead, and the Jets do not get the ball back until quarter 4. So let's start with just those decisions. You could see the inconsistencies here from Glenn. He's aggressive sometimes, and then he's conservative the other. But either way, in all these games, he's making the wrong decision, specifically when it comes to 4th down, as we saw twice on Sunday against Denver.
And I think, to add on to making it a little bit worse, it feels like whenever they get into these situations where they have to make a potential game-changing decision, they're not ready to make the decision. It feels like they're trying to make it in the moment, where I feel like some of the better coach teams in the league, they understand, okay, if we get to, what was it in the 4th quarter, 1 yard to go against the Broncos with 10 minutes left, we understand that if it's 3 or less yards, we're automatically going to go for it without even thinking about punting it. The good teams figure that stuff out on 2nd and 3rd down. It feels like whenever the Jets are faced with a situation, they try to handle it all like within that 40-second play clock. And then usually that means your play is not going to be, thought about prior to the situation. I feel like you're just calling a play based on, real time, which I hate offensive coordinators that do that. And I'm not necessarily blaming Tanner Engstrand or saying he does that, but you have to have the play call already ready to go into the quarterback's helmet so that he can get it out as quickly as possible. I'm with the bot on this one, the decision bot, to go for it on all these and then kick the field goal against Miami. I was saying in real time we have to do all the things that they recommended, and I couldn't believe the punt with 10 minutes and 23 seconds left, just needing 1 yard, especially considering that they burned the timeout beforehand, which I know we're going to get into. So I agree, and I think this is completely separate than the rookie quarterback conversation, but this is a whole nother issue that needs to be figured out by AG before we can even consider anything happening next season.
You brought up the timeouts. Let's cover that now on the graphic. Critical, blown second half timeouts in close games, right? It's not like the Jets have had a ton of close games this year, but in these scenarios here, like what happened against the Broncos, right? Fourth quarter, 10 minutes, 23 seconds to go. Jets are on their own 30. They're weighing whether or not to go for it on a 4th and 1, leading by 1 point. It's 11-10 at this time. Aaron Glenn calls a timeout, and then they ultimately punt after that. If you're going to burn the timeout, you have to go for it at that point. Otherwise, just take the delay of game and punt if you're going to end up punting. The 5 yards is more, giving away 5 yards is worth it to save a timeout in a 1-point game. You need that timeout. This is coaching malpractice. He should know this. He's not calling the defense. He's not calling the offense. He's the CEO of the football team, to quote him. Act like it. He has no plan. Now let's get to the Steelers' decisions. 2-point conversion attempt. And this bothered me in real time, but I said in the postgame, I'm not going to kill him for that. He's in his first game as a coach. I'm sure it's growing pains. He'll learn from it. He hasn't. But he burnt the timeout before the Jets decided to go for 2 when it was 32-31, and they didn't even get the 2-point attempt after that, I don't believe. So that was a huge problem.
They didn't get it after that. So that was what made it even a worse decision, was you took the timeout. And I always thought that you should have ran the 2-point conversion play was the keeper to Justin Fields, and that's how they scored the touchdown to get to 32. But it was 4th and goal when they ran that naked keeper with Justin. So it's like you burned your 2-point conversion play on the 4th and goal play because you had to. And then again, you weren't in a situation. You burned the timeout. Whose fault is it? Is it actually AG's fault, or is it Tanner Engstrand's fault because he just burned his best play and now he doesn't have that 2-point play ready to go in the chamber, ready to shoot back into Fields' headset? So it's like there's so much going on when these decisions happen that yes, it's all going to fall on Glenn, and I don't want to excuse his poor decision making. But in that situation, specifically talking about the 2-point, I also put it on Engstrand to not have a play ready. You have to assume Justin's going to score on 4th and goal. Have your play ready. I think they only took the timeout because they didn't have the play ready.
Terrible. And then the other one from that game too. And once again, I wasn't killing him after this one because it was his first game. But when it becomes a trend now, every week you're making the wrong decisions, it's now a problem beyond just the fact that they don't have a win. Like, that's the biggest problem, obviously. If they're winning games, we'll deal with some of the stuff, but it's not good enough. And then the other decision that he blew in the second half of that Steelers game, the situation was the Jets are trailing 31-26. They got 1st and goal at the Pittsburgh 5, and they call a timeout with 9 seconds on the play clock, despite a long developing penalty call after the previous play. So they weren't ready with the next play. And like some of that, we could say, it's first game. They got to get the rhythm of how to get the play in and how to execute it. Fine. But this has remained the problem, as we just talked about the Denver debacle, where they seemingly were not ready to make a decision on whether or not they were going to go for it on the 4th and 1.
Yeah, and then as you can see, 9:01 and 7:01 in the 4th quarter. We had 1 timeout with 7 minutes left in the entire game. In a 1-score game, you need all your timeouts, just like they could have benefited from having 1 more against Denver in this game. They got the ball back with 3 minutes and 22 seconds, but it felt like the way their offense was going, they needed way more time than that. So could you have had more than 4 minutes on the clock when you got the ball? Potentially, but you wasted your timeouts. So I'm definitely not an advocate of burning timeouts. We did that a lot with Aaron Rodgers on offense because, he liked to get the play clock down to 0. But this is just incompetence use of timeouts.
Oh, it's brutal. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do something cool for the community. You guys are the best for still rocking with a daily show that covers the worst team in football that hasn't made the playoffs in 15 years, but who's counting? So, end of the show today, a very special giveaway. a signed Darrelle Revis helmet. If you want to win this, and it includes the display case, by the way, you got to gift channel memberships or send in $10 super chats or higher to qualify, and we will get you in the raffle. So let me shout out a couple people that have already entered the raffle today. Thomas, who gifted a channel membership. He's the first to do it. He's the first to enter during the show. And then a huge shout out to Mark Yanchenko, who just gifted the Community 5 channel membership.
Justin's numbers are not good from this game. Is he going to be your quarterback next week, or would you consider?
Man, what kind of question is that?
Mark is in for 5. Some super chats here, and then I want to read a letter that a passionate Jet fan, season ticket holder, sent to the Jets, and we'll get everyone's thoughts on that. Jesse Smith, who was in London and posted a photo in our Discord of him being shown on the broadcast during this game, he sends in a $10 super chat, says, "At least I was on TV. I'm famous, made my UK trip worth it. LOL, keep being you, Jake. You are amazing." Jesse, I hope despite that loss, you had a great time over there, getting a chance to see London. Jets carpetbagger in the raffle for 2. He says, "For comfort food to help soothe your Jet sorrows." Well, thank you, Mr. Carpetbagger. I'll be having some comfort food tonight, watching Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, 2 former great Jet QBs going at it.
Did you see the NFL tweet? It was like 2 unks in prime time on Thursday. It's like, damn, we're here using the word unks. Oh, God.
Weird.
Good for them, though.
The great Rick Kent in the house. How about a 10 spot of channel memberships from Rick? He's in the raffle for a Revis helmet for 10.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Rick, thank you as always. The following 10 listeners are now channel members: Andy, Jordan, Dorate, Richard, Jet TGTX, Barry Reed, British Jet, Matt Lampmontagne, and Bobby O'Brien, all receiving a membership there from our guy, Rick Kent. Couple super chats here that we still have to hit. Peter Castro in the house says, "Glenn is lost. Showed us all how smart he is at the end of the half. Get lost." I'll tell you what, not all losses are created equal, right? So now that's the memory of Aaron Glenn to a national audience. They play primetime on a Thursday night against New England in a few weeks. What's it going to be like then, right? Like, what's their record then? And 2, what happens that night when it's Mike Vrabel, who would never make those mistakes, going up against Aaron Glenn? Like, I remember Nate Hackett's first game as the Broncos head coach. He completely bungled the end of the game in a Monday nighter, Russell Wilson back in Seattle, taking on the Seahawks. And that stuck with Hackett the whole rest of the year. It looked like he was incompetent, and it never got better. Now this game sticks with Glenn. If it doesn't get better, the idea that he couldn't be one and done if this team goes 2-15, I think is crazy. He's got to show a lot of improvement over these next 11 games.
Yeah, unfortunately, you bring up the Steelers, and part of the reason that I wanted the guy that is head coaching for them right now is because of how well he knows the rules and how equipped he has his coaches and players and how versed they are in the rules. Did I say what did I say?
You said the Steelers, but I think you mean.
Did I say Steelers?
Right?
Oh, I'm looking at the schedule and I see Pittsburgh, but yeah, New England, the guy who's head coaching the Patriots. I wanted him because he understands the rule book. He gets his players and coaches to understand the rule book, and he doesn't make stupid mistakes that cost you games. And yeah, he doesn't always bat 1,000, right? But he makes way more high IQ plays as a head coach than what we've seen through Aaron Glenn. But am I going to say, Aaron Glenn can't turn it around? No, I think it's very possible for him to turn it around. And you sent me that little stat packet, and I'm looking at his 6-game active losing streak to start his career. The guys right next to him are Zach Taylor and Brian Flores. Brian Flores is the guy we wanted over Aaron Glenn, who started his career awful. And Zach Taylor found a way to the Super Bowl. There you go. You have the graphic. So, there's reason to believe that this can still get turned around. I'm not going to sit here and provide you all this lengthy evidence that it can happen, but there is potential for it to happen. Even Spags, Raheem Morris got another chance. Kyle Shanahan with 9 straight losses to begin his career. So I'm not trying to do the Dan Campbell thing. I'm just trying to say that he might not be the worst coach in NFL history. I still don't even think he's worse than Gase. Was this game awful? Yes, but I still don't think he's worse than Gase.
Do you think Adam Gase wins that game Sunday, though?
No, because Justin Fields He couldn't get Justin Fields to throw the ball. Nobody can get Justin Fields to throw the ball. Yes,
but I think he would have benched Fields. That's the problem.
If that's the argument, yes, then maybe any head coach could have made that switch. Sure. Yeah. That from that perspective, yes. But from what they had on the field at the time, I don't think so. Because the blocking was bad. The tight ends were bad. The receivers were still bad, other than Garrett before he got hurt. So I think it was all bad. And I don't think much could have happened unless you made the switch to Tyrod Taylor.
Some super chats here. The hamburger checks in. Hope you had a great birthday, Mr. Burger. Glenn and company suck. I want the helmet. He's in the raffle for 2. Hell yeah. Thank you, Mr. Burger. We got a super chat here from Rude Drude. Any update on Mad Max and Big Cho deal of the century? ? I have yet to receive a Venmo from Mad Max. So effective immediately, the Big Cho ticket is up for grabs. Now, before we do this, let's do this properly here. Let's set the stage for those who missed one of the more epic negotiations you'll ever see during yesterday's second show.
Mad Max wants to buy your ticket.
I'll pay you 25. Is that too little for you?
I won't go under 100.
Or $105. Does that sound good, Big Show?
105?
Yes.
Wait, hold on a second. Why are you negotiating the opposite direction?
I'm just negotiating with Big Show. I'll buy your ticket, you know.
What are you saying, 105?
105.
$105.
105. Yes, sir. For 1 ticket for the Panthers game.
All right, Jake, that's good.
Sounds good, Jake.
A deal has been made. Big Cho has officially sold his ticket to Mad Max.
Sounds good, Jake.
One of the worst negotiations I've ever witnessed, but a deal did get done.
Now, we said Mad Max has to just Venmo me so I could pay Big Cho, and I never got the Venmo from Mad Max, so I'm thinking the deal is off, but I will ask the man himself one last time.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, we hear you, Mad Max.
Oh, Dylan, let's talk about the game on Sunday. It was embarrassing.
Shut up. Shut up. Don't talk about the game on Sunday. I just set the whole stage to find out what the deal is with this negotiation of yours.
I'm probably going to sell it. I'm probably still going to go to the game. I'm going one. I'm probably going to go one more time. I'll probably sell it. It's only 1 ticket, right, Jake? Only one? Only one, or is it multiple tickets?
Oh my God! It was very clearly stated to you, Mad Max. Big Show is 1 ticket. It's in the section with everyone you see that calls into the show.
Let's sell it to someone else. Big Show. Let's.
You just welched on your bet. You are a bet welcher.
Jake, let's sell it to someone else. I already know who to sell it to, Jake.
What are you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
Stay there, Mad Max. I don't want to talk to you for a moment.
Why was he putting his head on the wall like that?
And he just comes in.
So chilling on the wall.
He snorts 4 lines, then calls in, and I'm trying to get an answer out of him. Like, calm down, Mad Max.
That's where the $105 went. He's a sophomore in college. I went to Adderall and Red Bull.
Oh my God! You see, I saw him on hold. Go. I'm like, relax. All right, jeez. Now, all right, Big Cho. Sorry, but your ticket is still available. If anyone would like to purchase it, Big Cho is looking for at least $105. So that is.
So what, Big Cho can't make it to the game? That's what happened?
He can make it. His friend who was supposed to be joining him can't make it. So he has an extra ticket.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And Big Cho's been blowing up my email now for all week. In fact, I got another email from Big Cho saying, Jake, will there be places to sit down at the tailgate? Also, will you be showing the 9:30 NFL game between the Rams and Jaguars? Thanks. I go, Big Cho, it is not my tailgate. We're doing an event with Tailgate Joe. So I don't know.
I heard Nick Shine was bringing the recliner in the bed of his pickup truck. So there should be a place to sit for him at least.
Unbelievable. Well, Mad Max just welched on his bet or on his deal, I should say. I mean, just terrible. All right.
Can't trust the college kid. Come on now.
No, especially a college kid on that kind of heavy stuff. Yikes. Michael.
I'm glad we didn't talk about the game, though. I am glad.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on the game. Michael is in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. He's playing to win. What, Herm?
Hello? You play to win the game.
Well, the Jets can't do that. So we're playing to win a signed Darrelle Revis helmet instead today. So good luck to Michael, who gets himself in the raffle for 5. Cuddy with a super chat. He's in for 2. I'm hopeful we get to see any two Smiths, Pritchett, Skinner. If we are out Josh and Garrett, Fields and Glenn really need to show us something this week. Need to see at least 5 to 10 plus air yards, 5 to 10 plus air yard throws. I agree. This has got to be the game you take a chance with Arian Smith, no?
Yeah, and there were times where he was open. They had a go concept on both sides. Justin Fields, I believe, was looking at the top of the screen where Arian Smith was. Garrett was one-on-one with Patrick Surtain down the bottom of the screen. Arian Smith was running, he had like a half a step on his guy when Fields was looking at him. I thought he could lay it out there for him. He was throwing into the sun. I did observe that, so maybe there was the element of that, but I don't think it mattered in Sunday's game. I felt like Fields wasn't going to throw it no matter what, and that's part of playing with the confidence. If his confidence is gone because he's hurt, he's not playable. If his confidence is gone because he's not making throws early on in games, he's unplayable. The beginning of that Boomer clip was, I should have called AG and said, your quarterback doesn't have it today. As a Yankees fan or just a baseball fan in general, when a pitcher doesn't have his stuff. Like that's what Justin Fields is, unfortunately. Luckily, we have somebody in our bullpen who is decent enough to at least give us a chance to win. So,
yeah,
I'm not giving him an excuse of the sun. I'm just saying that is the element of it. Like Arian Smith was looking directly into the sun while he was running open. So maybe Fields didn't feel comfortable throwing it to him. But in my opinion, you just throw it. And he's a professional wide receiver in the NFL. He should be able to go make a play. But he was open.
Fields is in his 5th year, bro. Stop holding the ball and give your players, give your receivers a chance to make a play. I mean, it's just
100%.
It's unbelievable. Some super chats as we keep going. Then we're going to get to more of your calls. Stone Cold Swagga has super chatted. That's obviously a government name. Jake, how short is Justin Fields' leash on Sunday, and what needs to be true for AG to turn to Tyrod? I think Fields gets a quarter, and if it looks similar to what we just saw in London, DT, then I think you got to go to Tyrod because now you're at home and the Jet fans there. We're going to start booing immediately if it looks very similar to what we've seen, where he's just holding on to the ball forever.
Yeah, the first 4 notes that I made in my just real time sitting at my desk watching the game, squandering good field position. They started at the plus 37 after the fumble. They started at the plus 24 after the kickoff returned by Kene Nwangu. And then I had starting off slow, settled for 2 field goals, 52 yards, 41 yards. Your first 2 drives, each were 4 plays, 1 yard. That is egregiously bad. Then you come out for the 3rd drive, 3 and out. And then I immediately write all-time stinker first half from Fields. I felt like in the first 3 drives, you knew Fields didn't have it. So like you said, maybe it is the first quarter. Maybe it's a quarter and a half. But if you get to halftime and the game is within reach because the defense is keeping you in it and your offense is showing the same thing that they put out on Sunday, whether it is exactly Fields' fault or not, you have to make the switch because I've kind of maintained all week that the decisions like this, specifically regarding your quarterback, that's what's going to fracture your locker room quicker than anything else. We saw it with Zach Wilson and Mike White. I'm not saying go make Tyrod F. Taylor t-shirts because I think that's just, egregiously immature, but there has to be a awakening period for AG or even Tanner Engstrand to say, hey, we need to save the locker room. Even if we don't win as many games as people want us to win, we have to at least make the decisions that aren't going to lose us the locker room. And right now it doesn't look like he lost the locker room, but if these decisions keep happening due to the field's on-field performances, then yeah, that fracture is going to start coming soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat here from Evan, who cuts the line and he gets in the raffle for 2. I'm surprised Samini is still hardcore backing Glenn on his podcast because he's, quote, learning on the job. I don't believe you can suddenly become a great game manager in your 50s. He stinks. Rich and Glenn are very close. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Rich and Glenn maintained a good relationship when Glenn was just starting his scouting career with the Jets, when Glenn was with the Saints, when Glenn was with the Lions. Anytime Rich does like a oral history story on like something like in the past, Glenn is always one of his sources that he'll get on the record to talk about something that happened with Parcells or anything during that. Contrary to popular belief where Glenn hates Samini. No, Glenn is comfortable giving it back to him because they have that relationship. So I'm not surprised Rich is still defending Glenn. He's not as negative as people think he is if you listen to his most recent podcasts. But I think the reality is this. One thing I do disagree with Rich. He's like, under no circumstance is Aaron Glenn going to get fired. I disagree. I think if this got to a point where they have 1 win, if they have 2 wins and it continues to look like this, I think Woody Johnson's hands are going to be forced to that point. So that's the only thing I'd push back on what Rich was saying during his pod. But anyone who knows their history, I'm not surprised. Rich and Glenn like one another. They have a good relationship.
Yeah, and I think, I'm not trying to put words in Rich's mouth, but I think what he's trying to get across there, saying like under no circumstances, it just goes to show you how strong the relationship is between Woody Johnson and Aaron Glenn, that, you know, things can be absolutely dreadful this year and he could still get a second year. To your point, though, I think the outside noise has always gotten to Woody at some point. And if it's that, you know, if it looks like it did on Sunday from a coaching perspective, even if the offense is shit and the defense is good, but the coaching is better, you probably win that game, right? Despite your quarterback play. And we're back to like the Zach Wilson era. That can buy you time in this league because you can just say, okay, we made a mistake on Fields. It was always a short-term bridge. Now let's go get our guy into our system. So I think it just speaks to the strength of the relationship between Woody and AG. But yeah, if Woody gets completely embarrassed, and I thought, you know, the London game would have been a perfect example if Denver hung, 42 on our heads and won 42-17, and Woody gets laughed out of his owner's box again. Yeah, sure, maybe some hasty decision-making could come into play, but I actually think Woody's going to give AG the second year no matter what. I'm not going to, accuse them of tanking, because I think you would have to be like obviously tanking if you're the Jets to, get that number 1 overall pick. I still think we're going to win a couple games. And also, Jake, if the Jets were actively tanking, wouldn't that be the perfect opportunity for the league to step in and say, we investigate this, we find some wrongdoings here, like you're purposely throwing games, we're going to strip you of your first overall pick. Like, I feel like that's exactly what would happen if the Jets intentionally tried to tank. So maybe there's a handshake agreement behind closed doors with Woody and AG that this year was going to suck, and that Woody just has to bear the storm if he's capable of staying off Twitter, which it seems like he has been. So I think it speaks more to the strength of their relationship. But yeah, if we get to 1-16, 0-17, I don't think anybody is going to be defending Glenn and saying he deserves a second chance.
Yeah, I think if it got that bad, I actually think that he would be one and done. I hope there's 11 games to go. I hope they win some games here, and we're not talking about that. Let's see. The Hamburger says, it's bad enough I have to wear my Jets gear to the watch party. You couldn't pay me to go to the stadium. Hey, that's why I gave people the option, Hamburger. If you want a free beer at our watch party for the Jets and the Bengals game coming up at Goldies Tavern, free event. Everyone should RSVP. If you want a free beer, you could wear Jets, or if you're so disgusted with the Jets, if you want to wear Asmaniac or Jake Asman Show merch instead, you'll get a free beer included as well. So don't worry. I thought of that option, Hamburger. I'm not dumb. I know you don't want to wear your Jets gear. I get it. I'm wearing a bag on my head at this game on Sunday. But
Jake's not wearing any Jets gear right now. He's sporting Carly on top and himself on the bottom.
Whoa.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Are you aware what type of show this is?
Calm your freaky down.
Carly on top. Are you out of your mind?
Oh, no.
Family show. Jeez.
Calm your freaky down.
All right. I digress.
Sorry.
Jackson with a super chat here. Who do you see being the most possible player we trade by the deadline? I think Quincy, Michael Carter are actually ahead of Breece Hall for me.
Yeah. Quincy is third for me. I'm just using the players you named. Breece would be second. Michael Carter would be first. And I think a lot of the reasoning behind that is there's nobody really behind Breece that you feel great about. Isaiah Davis is not your bell cow. Braylon Allen probably isn't coming back this year. You get rid of Breece and you still don't have Garrett. I feel like that's really scary hours. You're just funneling Mason Taylor targets. And then Michael Carter the second, obviously because of Jarvis Brownlee, his emergence in that debut game, obviously his very first rep, that first third down in the game, he gets the forced fumble. Then he's the screen buster. That's what I've been calling him. I thought Quincy Williams was the screen buster before he got hurt. He was always ready to diagnose and trigger and go downhill, but now it's Jarvis Brownlee. So I like that. So I would say if you don't move Michael Carter the second to safety for the rest of the year and see what you have, if you can, salvage the player, then Michael Carter's the most likely. And then I would probably say Breece is second most likely, even though I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't trade Quincy. I'm not trading JJ, Will, Quinnen. I would rather just, like I said before, if you don't trust these guys to make the decision about the future draft picks, why do you trust them to trade off players now to allocate asset or to, get more assets for them to most likely not do well with them? So I'm holding put.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spencer Green enters our Revis signed helmet raffle at the end of the show with this $10 monstrosity of a super chat here. He says, wait, Jake, breaking news. Jets have traded Alan Lazard, Membu, and Brandon Stevens to the Global Studio. In return, we got Little Joey, Beast Jockstrap, and Beast. Beast is on IR right now, though, to which I saw Beast has responded to Spencer Green by writing in all caps, Spencer Green, I'm going to whoop your ass, you POS loser. You're a nobody, a nothing, a peon, and a useless slop jop from the ghetto. Okay. For more on this story, let's check in with the incoherent, always fantastic.
I got gas right now. Oh. It's slop jalop. They say it from Crispy Pizzas in New York. They say the word slop jalop. What part of that do you see? Ha! Can anyone read English? No, nobody wants to read English.
Can you read English?
I took it on 3rd, 4th, 6th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th. English, ding dong day, ciao, ding dong day, jajin. What do you want me to say?
I guess it makes sense. You stopped school after 7th grade.
No, try. How about try something like life. Life sucks and then you die. That's another term that's actually rung my bell.
Hey, when was the last time you took that shirt off and washed it?
I was just gonna say, is that yesterday's shirt?
I took a goddamn shower today.
Really?
And then I got a text message saying I got to work in the morning. Oh,
I thought you retired. These are your words.
You think I got enough on my plate right now?
I don't know what you have on your plate. You sit in the same spot for 24 hours a day.
He ate all the food on his plate.
My plate's big enough. It can fill.
Oh, we know.
Your plate is empty.
But don't you ever read the reports about 5G towers? Yeah, those things can cause a variety of damage. I got varieties of damage. Here, knees.
That's varieties of fat, Beast.
No, that's your piss ass poor prerogative. Because that is your bullshit excuse. Because you got no heart.
Can you define prerogative?
You don't think like I do. You're not as fast like I am. Sure, we may
I'm not as fast as you.
We're on two different levels here. You have your own level. I got my own level. Now, don't make me go James Hetfield on you, because let me just say, I might have a little bit of James in me and a little bit of Dave Mustaine. If I have to go, look at this little dickhead right here. Oh, he's so poor. Oh, go get me a.
Hey, Beast, Gator says that you're the inspiration for 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
You little Peckerwood.
What?
Yeah, can tell mommy I go buy me a laser like a shine in a day. Yeah, I bet you're still a little virgin. Yeah, you little Peckerwood. Yeah. Now let me play guitar, okay? Thank you. Dumb!
Hey, Beast, maybe you should get a job because you're not retired. You're just unemployed.
You sure as hell don't got any idea how much crap I've had to put up with the last 17 years of all the
Well, I know about the last crap you've had to put up with for almost a year, and it seems like nothing's changing ever.
Well, nothing's ever gonna change.
Well, that's your fault. You don't leave the attic.
The way they are. Let's just face it. We're all going through. And I hate the goddamn. I am the thrash man. Goddamn straight.
You're the farting attic monster.
I am the thrash master.
You're the farting attic monster.
I'm the savage beast.
No, you're not.
You ain't got the testes to go one.
Oh, I do.
Abracadoodle.
Hey, let me bring on my resident dietitian. Nice ass, Beast. Hey, Gary.
Put some pants on, my guy.
Gary, what do you think of this happening here?
I missed a lot of this. I can't follow him. He's not going to listen to anything. He could fix 90% of this, 80% of it at least, if he would just exercise 30 minutes a day, sweat 30 minutes a day, and cut out all artificial preservatives and sugars from his diet. He could fix 80% of that.
There's a lot of things I can say about you that get on my skin very hard.
You can feel free.
Feel free. You remind me of some fruitcake back in the old days. who I couldn't stand, and I kicked his ass in the mosh pit? You remind me of, and you're a lucky man, Gary. You are one lucky man. I'm going to say it one time. You are a lucky man on earth.
What am I got pulled over once, and the cop gave me a breathalyzer, and I blew a 0.0, and he says, it's your lucky day. I'm like, it's my lucky day because I'm not drinking and driving? How exactly am I lucky? How am I lucky today?
Yeah, beast.
Because if you would ever meet me in person and go nose to nose, toes to toes, let me say this,
would you imagine going nose to nose with beast?
You can't go nose to nose.
I'm not gonna stand in the pocket and let you grab me. I'm just gonna hit you so many times because you're so fat and so slow that you're just not gonna want to fight anymore. Even if I don't drop you with one shot, I'm just gonna hit you 10 times and you're not gonna want to fight anymore. So that would be the end of that.
You're not in my league, pal. You're not in the thrash.
Well, I'm not in your weight class, that's for sure.
I got more muscles right here, kiddo. I was ready.
Yeah, but you're 2 seconds away from a heart attack. You're about to die. It's not funny. I feel for you.
You're just a bum, a bunski. There's another name to add to it. How about Dunsky is more like it? And I'll tell you something from experience. I've seen everything I need to see, and nobody gives a shit. And I've learned a hell of a lot. I got that.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with Texas. Not good things don't happen when you mess with Texas.
Right.
You don't want to do that. We don't want to mess with Texas.
Sure. I'm going to tell you something. I am not a meatball. I do respect Texas, but there's only one thing I can't stand. If you can kiss my big ass. Woo!
We're covering a lot of ground there, DT.
Extraordinary. I'll say it for Gary. He was actually trying to help the man, which is just crazy.
Yeah, that's why I keep putting
and
Gary on.
Everybody that tries to help Beast, it's like taken like an insult. It's like all he said was 30 minutes a day of exercise and cut out the sugars and artificial preservatives.
Unbelievable. Okay, couple membership shout outs here. First, David Atkins has entered our Revis raffle for 5. Thank you, David.
Yeah, it is.
It's all love says, yo, Jake. Yo, it's all up. Spencer Green says, Beast been hurting. Joey is next. Apologize now. Okay. And Banks in the Asmaniac raffle for 1. Thank you, Mr. Banks. Mike Perez in the raffle for 2 says, the last 10 minutes of last night's show was the greatest. Never seen Beast so passionate for a team he doesn't watch. Folks, if you missed yesterday's show, it was an all-timer for 2025. So I recommend it for those of you who didn't get a chance to catch up on it yet. Let's see. Big fella, I see what you're doing here, but I am not going down that path. Joe the Jet with a super chat. He says, Dan Orlovsky saying the Jets should trade Garrett makes no sense. The Jets need a wide receiver 1 for the quarterback we're drafting soon. By the way, Beast is a clown. And also shout out to Garrett for basically taking like one of Dan Orlovsky's like tweets where he said that Garrett's being wasted on the Jets, and Garrett responded on Instagram and said, not wasted. Like that guy, Jet for life, man. I hope he's on the Mike Evans arc with us where we eventually get the right coach and quarterback and he could have some success because he's everything you want in a leader, captain. That's the guy you pay, and he's lived up to his contract every step of the way.
Yeah, I thought Orlovsky's comments were like very misguided. He said Garrett's being wasted here, which is just hilarious. He said that he's been here for 5 or 6 years, even though it's the beginning of year 4. He also said we were building wrong from the outside in, not talking about like perimeter versus trenches, which again, wrong. We have numerous trench players that are building block players on rookie contracts. So I thought Dano's analysis of that was very misguided. So I was very happy that Garrett Wilson could stuff him in a locker real quick.
I enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed that one. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're tuning in. Comments, questions, your super chats will continue to cut the line. I want to read something that I thought was very well written by a passionate Jet fan listener of the show because he tagged me in the tweet. Guy by the name of Brian from Martinsville. So he's a longtime Jet season ticket holder, and this was making the rounds over on social media here. So I'll pull it up. We'll go in each part of his tweet here. This is a letter that he sent to his season ticket holder rep. So the Jets, right around this time, they're starting to charge fans for renewals for next year, right? So he sent this letter to his ticket rep, guy by the name of Roberto. So shout out to Roberto. Here's the message, right? Hi, Roberto. Hope you're doing well. You've been my season ticket rep for 15 years now, and I want to start by saying you've always been great to deal with. You've been helpful, patient, and honest through a lot of rough seasons. So none of what I'm about to say is directed at you personally. That said, we're getting close to that time of year again. Season ticket invoices usually hit in late October, and he has the date for the last 2 years when it hit. And before that happens, I want to make sure my account is not set to auto-renew for 2025. My family and I need time to really think about whether we can keep doing this. I've got 4 seats, me, my dad, my brother, and now my kids. That's 3 generations of Jets fans. My 4-year-old son literally sleeps in his Jets helmet and jersey. He told me he wanted to be a Jet for Halloween this year. That should make me proud, but honestly, it just makes me sad right now. Here's part 2 of this letter from Brian, who is a longtime Jet season ticket holder. To call the first 6 games of the season anything less than a flaming pile of garbage would be a lie. The product on the field isn't just bad, it's embarrassing. Every week feels worse than the last. We keep getting told to believe or be patient, but it's been years of the same heartbreak. The ticket prices go up every year, and we're told that's just what the rest of the NFL is doing. The problem is our team doesn't look like the rest of the NFL. We're clearly the 32nd team in the league right now, and the gap between us and the 31st feels bigger than the gap between the 31st and 1st. If we end up with the number 1 pick, which seems likely, why should I believe Glenn and Muji are the right people to make that pick and develop it? The Patriots, Bills, and Dolphins all seem to have their quarterback and coach situations figured out. They'll continue to steamroll us while we just hope for better days. Here's part 3. And beyond the team itself, the fan experience at MetLife is just rough. We get a few Jets bucks to spend while other teams are sending out creative season ticket packages with personalized items and laminated tickets. It feels like the little things that made being a season ticket holder special have disappeared. Roberto, again, I know you're doing your job, and this isn't on you, but I really wish ownership, specifically Woody Johnson, would say something to fans like us, a statement, an email, anything to explain what the plan is and why we should believe this will ever get better. I've been a season ticket holder since 2009, and I can honestly say this feels like rock bottom. The moment Aaron Rodgers ran out of the tunnel with the flag on 9/11/2023 might have been the happiest I've been as a Jet fan since the 2010 AFC Championship run. 4 plays later, it all came crashing down. I went from joy to anger to sadness, and now I just feel numb. That's the worst part. I don't even get mad anymore. I just feel nothing. And then I think that might have been the last part of the letter. But, I mean, Dylan, you heard me read it there. Give us your initial reactions.
One, it was very well said. I feel like a lot of fans, when they try to do something like this,
sorry, hold on, Dylan. I missed there was a part 5 here that didn't.
Oh, okay.
So let me get that right here. Just so because I was like, wait a second, I kind of just ended weirdly there. Here's the last part of the letter.
There, yeah.
Yep. When you watch other teams on Red Zone, it doesn't look like we're even playing the same sport. Yesterday, we had negative 10 yards passing in 2025 in a league designed for offense. That says it all. So again, please make sure our account does not auto-renew for this next year. We're going to have to sit down as a family and talk about whether we can keep spending our time and money on this, or if, for our own sanity, it's time to step away. And if there's any way to pass along to ownership, I genuinely love a response. I'm not expecting a miracle, but after all these years of loyalty, we deserve at least a little communication from the top. Thanks again, Roberto. You've always been great. I wish the team cared as much as the fans do. Go Jets, I guess. Go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, it's very well said, and I feel like a lot of times fans try to do something similar to this, but we end up taking it a little too far, and we say some things that are a bit egregious. But I think he was pretty, tame with his call outs there, and I think they're all fair points. If season ticket holders are expecting to get their first invoice in the mail about next year's tickets at the current state of this team, that's an absolute joke. We've seen it happen before. Obviously, the increase while Rodgers was injured and coming back from the Achilles, and they're like, hey, we're just going to, bump this up and ask for the payments now. That was before even the Halloween game that you guys were at in Houston. So it's like they're asking for stuff way before this team even proves anything to us. So it's completely fair. I think the package that other season ticket holders get when they post it on Twitter, and it's like a signed football or a signed jersey or a cool like placard, and like they have laminated versions of their cards. Like, people like physical tickets. Like, I know we kind of worked away from that into this electronic era, but a lot of people like the physical ticket to the game. And I understand you can still get the QR code and keep the physical ticket, but it's just small gestures like that other teams are doing where it's like we get 50% off some crappy red wine that's Jets brand. It's like, what if you're not an alcoholic or you don't even drink or anything like that? It's like it's such a useless package for the season ticket holders. Like, give them more incentive to want to be season ticket holders. And it feels like the product on the field, the product in the stadium, and what they're giving us as season ticket holders is just not enough. So I'm completely with Brian. I've never been a season ticket holder, probably never will be. I just don't end up going to enough games to justify it. But when the product is this bad, nobody ever wants to be renewed. So the fact that he's sitting down at dinner with his family to discuss, all right, guys, next year, do we think we want to do this for the team? It's, that's awful. Nobody should have to have a dinner table discussion about renewing their season tickets. It should just be, the team's good enough, or, we like the team enough. Let's go do it. Let's support our team. But it's like, they make it hard to even want to support them.
Man, I don't even know. I mean, it's everyone worse. I don't blame anyone who's not renewing. If I had season tickets, I would not renew. Because why would you? You could just go on the secondary market, and this time of year, tickets are way cheaper than what you're paying per game.
Yep. And I don't blame anybody if they still want to go to the game. And I know there's that whole discussion of like, you're a terrible fan because you go pay and put money in Woody's pocket sitting in the stadium. It's like, okay, yeah, but then we also at home using YouTube TV or whatever other source, we're putting money into Woody's pockets through TV deals too. So it's like, we're just at fault and we're pointing a finger this way, but three are pointing back at us. So it's like, don't tell anybody how to fan, but just respect everybody else's decision. It doesn't have to be the same as yours. Like I said, I don't go to a lot of football games. I prefer the at-home broadcast experience where I can sit and take notes live and, have my thoughts in real time and write them down and not have to go back and try to remember all my thoughts because I'm so excited or pissed off in the stadium. I love the stadium experience when the games are good. I went to the Pittsburgh game, and it was probably the best game we're going to see this year. Hopefully not, but it's a tough scene when we're starting to tell each other how to fan.
That's well said as well. Now, I thought Brian's letter was spot on. I thought it was pointed, but not unfair in any way. So great job by him. How do you think that compares to one of the emails I get from Beastbreaker on a daily occurrence here?
I'm
this
sure
team
there's,
needs to
there's
set
punctuation in this one. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be at least one period in this entire thing.
This team needs to grow a set of balls. I've had just enough of this nonsense. Aaron Glenn should be moved from head coach to defensive coordinator. Then what can I do? I don't have time to read this. So this is the type of nonsense we're getting, folks. So
There were no periods, by the way. I saw there was none.
Big fella says Orlovsky wasted Calvin Johnson. The irony. I mean, Dan Orlovsky was a backup quarterback, though. He wasn't the starter.
When he was awful.
I mean, he was a very bad starter. He was a backup quarterback for a decade.
Back line of the end zone against Jared Allen.
He was, 2-10 in his NFL career, and he was 0-7 on the 08 Lions.
0-7 as a starter?
He started 7 games for the 08 Lions.
Is that the only 7 starts in his whole career?
No, he started 5 games for the Colts in 2011.
We got to look up the career earnings of one Dan Orlovsky for 12 starts in the NFL. That's crazy.
It's probably making more on TV than...
Yeah, he probably does make more on TV. But Blake Bortles made $47 million. So, I get it. He was a starter and he led to the playoffs and everything. But it's crazy how much money these quarterbacks make for doing pretty much nothing.
Luis Cordova is in our Revis helmet raffle for 5. Here's money for paper bags on Sunday. When will it end? Never. It never ends. It just keeps going, Dylan. The pain just keeps going.
Asmaniac brand paper bags. We love it. We'll just spell Asmaniac across the row. And anytime the cameras, and they won't pan to you, we know they won't pan to you because that's just kind of how that works with the politics of football. They're not going to show the upset fans as much. They'll show one individual with a paper bag on, but they wouldn't show 12 individuals in a row with paper bags on spelling out Asmaniacs. But it's a great idea.
Joe the Jet in the house with an Asmaniac super chat. I know this is mean, but does Beast have any value to the show other than make an ass out of himself? Let me ask him. Beast, do you have any value to the show? Beast? You're on the air, buddy.
Yes. I'm not going to say it's good. I am the fucking master of metal, and I've always been the master of metal.
You're the farting
All
addict
my
monster. All right?
Never. No, Pally.
Yes.
The master of metal remains.
Hey, real quick, I got other callers. There was a question. Joe wants to know if you add any value to the show other than making an ass out of yourself.
The only thing he knows is jacking shit and Jack left town. Come here, you son of a bitch. Next time you want to talk.
Thank you very much, Peace. Really appreciate the feedback there. Tremendous. Let's keep rolling with your calls right now. Here we go.
He's pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. Garrett Box, he point at you. Garrett Box, I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. I point.
Jake, you always throw the layout wrong, and I'm pointing the wrong way when Gary pops on. He's supposed to be over on the other side. What's up, Gary?
You made some good points before, Dylan, when you said that all I'm trying to do is help Beast. That's really all I'm trying to do, right? And it's the same. I don't want him to live that way. Right? Like, there's no reason. He's my age. He's a year younger than me. There's no reason for him to live that way. And all I'm trying to do is help. It's the same thing with Amanda. I'm trying to help. Like, she's clearly an unhappy person. Did you see the show yesterday?
I saw that she called in. I didn't catch the entire thing, but I did see she called in.
She's clearly angry and unhappy, right? I just wanted to be happy. I wanted to get everything she wants in life. And she's pissing away her life, right? Sitting in an office. Like, what would make her more happy? Sitting in the office every day, or having 3 little kids say, hey, mommy, look what I made. Look what I made. Come sit with me, mommy, and help me make a craft. Like, what would make her more happy?
So you know you're saying that any woman shouldn't have a career?
It shouldn't be your priority. It's gonna chase away high value men. High value men will want nothing to do with that. And B, like, let me give you an example. My grandmother, my Nona from Sicily, when she was at the very end of her life, she had a little house in Howard Beach, right? And it was probably 70, 80, 90 people from both sides, from Italy and from New York, who all came to sit with her and be with her because she was a mother who dedicated her life to being a mother, then a grandmother, and then a great-grandmother.
Tom A says, Gary's right. Amanda should start a YouTube boxing channel.
She should. 90
Nate says,
people,
you spent all night thinking about Amanda.
90 people sat in her house probably, right? Did anyone ever talk about what job she did or how much money she made or what club she went to? No. Everyone was thankful that that lady gave her life to being a mother, then a grandmother, then a great-grandmother, right? Like, I don't understand how sitting in an office all day, putting numbers in a spreadsheet, answering emails is more valuable than that. I'll never understand it. Well, right. And I'm not wrong, because if you look at the state of the modern woman, they're more suicidal, they're more alcoholic, they're more addicted to drugs, and they're more depressed and on antidepressants at a higher rate than any time in history. So when you say things like that, you're wishing for them to be unhappy, where what I say brings them joy, and it has for thousands of years.
So just to push back real quick, you're talking about career versus family, right? And sometimes, I mean, there's a lot of single women in this world. So like sometimes they have to prioritize their career first in order to obtain things that will allow them to have a family, right? I think about owning a home versus renting an apartment if you really want to start a family, right? So I'm looking at some data here it's 2023, so it's 2 years old technically. 11.14 million homes are owned by single women in this country.
I know the stat you're going here.
To 8.4 for single men. So maybe there is a path where Amanda, and I don't want to speak for her, but people like Amanda want to focus on a career-oriented early adult life and then slowly transition into becoming that mother or family-oriented in their early 30s, because you can still have kids when you're in your 30s.
I'm glad you bring up this point, right? I'm glad you. So first, that stat: single women have more houses than single men. Do you know how they acquire them? Via divorce, largely, the overwhelming majority of them. That's A. So they get them from the men who they ruin their family. You know, who after they ruin their family, they get the man's house, because divorce laws are atrocious in this country. That's one. Two is, yes, you can do those things, but you can't have it all. Like, you have to pick a priority. Like, if I say I want to be a golfer and a surfer, but then I move to the ocean, I buy the best wax, the best surfboard, and spend all day surfing. Do I really want to be a golfer, or do I really want to be a surfer?
This is such a ridiculous conversation.
Your actions show what your priorities are. If your priorities aren't having a family, then you're not going to get that. And having a career is going to do nothing but chase away high-value men, because it's nothing but a nuisance to me. I don't care about your opinion on things.
To you, it's
to you. Yeah, your opinion, guys.
To you, and that's fine. That's completely
no,
fine.
not
but
to me.
To me, if I see a woman who has a full-time job, she could take care of herself, she is an independent woman on her own, sure, maybe she doesn't quote-unquote need me, but I feel like we live in a time and place where need for a relationship is probably the wrong reason to jump into a relationship, right? As somebody who's been in a marriage that has failed, I don't think it's a need thing. You got to want the relationship, and people don't want relationships all the time, and that's okay too.
On someone else, everyone's life is made better from someone else. When you say she's a strong, independent woman, you know what you call that when you're a man? Being an adult. We've been doing it since we're 18, but when a woman does it, she's a strong.
She's an adult too, and I would say I'm a strong, independent man because I can function and do it.
We call that just being a man. If you can't do that, then you're a child, right? Like, you're a male, but a man implies that you've reached maturity. Like, he's a male. He's a male. He's not a man. He hasn't reached maturity, right?
Right.
So my point is, like, someone like, for me, I would look at someone like Amanda and say, okay, you're going to quit your job and have kids, right? You want to have kids. You going to work every day doesn't allow you to stay at home and be with the kids. So you have to quit that, at least for the time being, at least until the kids are 4 or 5 years old, because who's going to stay at home with the kids? I would do it, but
you have you can afford a nanny.
You could do that. So let me ask you a question. You can. I have a nanny, right? Because I have special needs kids, right?
Sure.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You're gonna take it's your anniversary, right? Your wife says, let me take you out to dinner. I say, sure. Actually, I'm not gonna take you out to dinner, but I hired someone that will take you out to dinner for our anniversary. Is that the same thing?
No, I'm confused.
That's the same thing. That's the same concept as a nanny. It's
not really. It's filling in the gaps. It's filling in the gaps for when, like for instance, my mom was a single mom and she worked till 6 p.m.
My wife works 9 days a month. Like, people come in here after my family.
That's completely fine. That's completely fine.
Jane, people come after my family because they can't come after me as a man, because I'm better at being a man in every aspect of being a man than they are. So they can't come after me. So they go after my family. They do it all the time, because if they came after me, they would take nothing but else.
Maybe they do, but speaking from just my experience with my mom, who was a single mom since I was like 18 months old, she worked till like 6 p.m. I got out of school at 2:30, 3 o'clock. There had to be a bridge filled in that gap of 2.5, 3 hours. That's where a nanny or a resource comes in. I don't think it's negligent to have resources in parenting.
It's not negligent. No, I don't think it's negligent. I'm saying there's optimal, right? Like, there's optimal. And I think, as we've shown for thousands of years, the optimal is to have two parents and one of them stays at home and takes care of the kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Gary.
Oh, it's actually my favorite guy to debate with. You're actually because we can be reasonable. I actually love this with you. Go ahead.
There are points that you make that are valid, but your examples of some of the stuff that you're using is horrible. So, like, most times a woman gets somewhere with the help of someone else, which in some cases can be a man. Now, for the part that you speak of like relationships as if they're just one way to go, and that two things can be true at one time, right? You can be a strong, independent woman and be married.
Let's just call it an adult. You can be an adult, a strong, independent woman.
You can be an adult female or an adult male and still live a great life and not meet that person that you're going to be with forever. There are many people that don't stay with one person forever. You end up with another person and another person.
I don't think that. Yes, does that happen? Yes. Should that be the norm? Should that be the
yeah? Standard? But Gary, you're operating in shoulda and woulda and coulda means Aaron Glenn and shoulda and woulda. We would have been a great team, but realistically, we're a bad team. So your shouldas is, I get that you want to have a standard.
These are choices. These are all choices that we make.
Like you, all right. So you could choose. I've listened to you. I've listened to you talk about your past, right? When you were younger, you were a semi-fuckboy, right? You were in college having a good time, doing what you did. You made choices, right?
Bad choices, horrible choices. I wish I hadn't made. Yes, but yes.
But those choices were still made, and for every choice is a repercussion for someone else for the choice that you made that was a bad decision, right? But you changed your life and met your wife, and now you live a family life. You should give Amanda the same yield that you had. Like give her rope. Like you can't tell her how to live.
I can't. I can suggest this is what makes women happy. And look, every study shows that the overwhelming majority, like 85, 88, 89% of women still say they want to get married and have a family, right? So this is not like a random.
She never said she didn't want to get married. Like,
but okay, this is my point though. Women, and they don't like this. They're a depreciating asset. At 25, your value is never going to get higher.
No.
Man, it's very, very different.
Look,
right? Like Bill Belichick could have never got that chick at 23, but he can get her at 73 or how old he is now.
Because it's tilted. It's a man's world. So in a man's world, some things are going to be tilted. But he has the same rights that we have. That's the thing that
she doesn't have the same rights. Like no one is saying that.
You said females shouldn't have the right to vote.
Oh yeah, well that's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's a right.
No most men shouldn't either. I don't think men should have. Some men should, but it should have to be earned, not given.
So I'll ask you a question. When you have family gatherings, right? Are you the one person in your family that's talking shit and the rest of your family is just quiet and they're like, I'm not going to get involved with Gary's nonsense right now?
No. I have a loud Italian family. We all voice our opinions.
And they all, do any of your family members agree with the shit that you say?
Well, I think if anyone's being honest, they agree with some things. Like I don't agree with everything you say, but I don't disagree. Like I think it's like that. Like I agree with some of the things and I disagree with others. Like I don't agree with everything I said 2 weeks ago, right? I don't agree with everything I said 2 years ago.
All right, so by you saying that you don't agree with shit you said 2 weeks ago, you're trolling then. Because for you
don't grow and change your mind? You've never changed your mind on anything?
Yeah, but you haven't grown and changed your mind on your thought process of what you think of. Should a female be subservient to you or just be what you want them to be? Or do they have rights to do what they want to do?
They have the right to choose to do what they want. That's an interesting word that you use, right? They can do what they want, but it's what's optimal, what's in your best interest. I could go right around on a pogo stick, knock on people's doors, and curse at them. I can do that.
But how many times? So, Gary, when you get up every day, you make the most optimal decisions for your day. You don't have decisions where you're like, fuck it, I'm going to do something that's not optimal.
I try not to. Look, we all have like downtime and things that we do. Like, is watching the Jet game the best use of my time? That's a whole debate, right? Like,
but that's what you wanted to do, right? And you had fun doing that. So give people the same grace where you're not telling them what to do. Because for you to tell somebody what to do,
are you telling me? It sounds like you're telling me what to do right now.
I'm not. I'm asking you to give grace. I'm asking you to have the wherewithal to be like, look, if I can do this, then I shouldn't be able to say somebody can't do their life to how they want to live.
Do whatever they want, but understand that everything you do comes with consequences. The consequences of what your actions right now is you're gonna lose out on the man that you want. You're gonna lose out on having kids.
Gary, who says that? All right, so let me ask you.
Statistics say that.
Yeah, but statistics say Gary, that. My mom was a single mom forever, right? She met my dad. They got divorced, and then she was a single mom for a long time. They met my stepfather. They got married, and they've been together for 40-something years. Like, she
was a single mom for a season. She got married, then she divorced.
She was a single mom for a while. Like, by the time my parents got divorced, it was already over. But she lived a life that wasn't optimal by your thing. Like, my mom had kids in her late 30s and her 40s. So, like, you saying that you're the outlier has to be this. You can't say that, bro. Because
you can have kids in your late 30s and your 40s, but by the time you're 34, almost 90% of your eggs are gone. They're shot. So now your chance of getting pregnant is very, very small.
Gary, there are people in their 20s that can't get pregnant. It is what it is. Like you can't set a timeline for somebody and tell them how they should live. Like they're living their life based upon their decisions, how they need to live.
Let me ask you a question. If I'm 35 years old and I say I want to be an NFL running back, have I kind of blown my window?
Yeah,
realistically, yeah, you have. Okay, that's my point. It's like, look, a woman at 22, 23, 24 is at her peak value to attract the best man she's going to get. At 26, it goes down. At 27, 28.
Nah, because look,
it does.
By what you just said, right? Then my mom would have never met her perfect match. So that's right there is an automatic L for you.
You're just making the odds less and less. It can be done, right?
But Gary, that's why there are odds. That's why they're gambling odds, because things change.
Right? Tom Brady and Giselle, right?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's a free country, so everyone can have their opinions. But Gary, I don't know if I can disagree with another human being more, but good debate. Black Gypsy, well done. More calls, actually jet-related, perhaps. First, some quick shout-outs. Matt L. in the raffle for one. Black Gypsy, who just saw on the screen, in the raffle for one. Yeetus Delita says, why did we take the Ziploc bag of curdled milk off the screen? Bring him back.
Notice he stops playing when the one time he's actually really playing the guitar, and he cuts himself off because he's probably embarrassed.
All right.
I'm trying to
more of your calls now, shall we? Let's say hello to the Hamburger, who's next. Hello, Mr. Burger.
Hello, my head hurts. I like my head hurts right now, bro. Like my head hurts from that. And I love Gary to death. But man, Gary, sometimes your opinions are your opinions, and you can tell me all the statistics that you want. And my wife is a full-time working woman, and she does great things for this family, and my kids don't miss a beat. And she's made me grow in my role at my job, and I've helped her with her role at her job. So I don't know what you're talking about. Things change, buddy. But anyway. Yeah, man, I might have to bring a duffel bag with me to the viewing party. I don't know how I want to be in public with my Jets gear. Man, I haven't worn any of it outside of my house yet since, other than the opening day. Like, that's the first time I wore stuff out. I was like, all right, it's the football season. Let's go. But, yeah. No, I'll wear my stuff. I'm only playing. But, listen, man, I think I don't really want to talk about Aaron Glenn. You know how I feel. I think the whole coaching staff has really got to go. Unless they turn some miraculous thing. But to be honest, I do not see it happening. Like, I still don't see a win. But, honestly, I think they're going to get rid of Breece Hall, man. I think he's probably the number one guy that's going to end up getting off of this team. So I really think that, maybe somebody like the Chiefs or somebody in dire need of a running back they're going to pick him up, and hopefully we get something out of it. Maybe a decent draft pick. Because I know we need what do we need? A second rounder? We gave that away last year or something like that.
We don't have a third.
Third, yep.
Oh, it's the third. That's correct. Yeah, I don't know if we get a second. We might. You never know. It depends on how needy that team is. But I would expect us to get rid of a few players coming draft. I don't know. Other than Breece Hall and maybe. I really don't know who else they would probably get rid of. Maybe Lazard, but who wants him? You know what I mean? Yeah. Forget about it. But listen, I don't even see a win this weekend. To be honest, guy, I don't see a win for the rest of the year. I hope we get
no, stop I know it. They're gonna get. I'll take the same bet I did with Black Gypsy yesterday. You give me $100 if they go. I'll give you $200 if they go 0-17. You owe me $100 if they win a game.
You got me on that because I feel like they could pull out one. But
all right, how about this? 300.
300. Woo!
You get $300 if the Jets don't win a game. They're 0-17.
But I don't like betting with the Jets, bro. I don't need money like that.
Just give some memberships so the community benefits.
All right, let's all right, fine. Okay, they're gonna win this weekend too. I see. That's why I don't want to bet.
We love it. We love it.
We'll get it to win. All right.
Is it worth giving Jake $100 to see the team win? I think so.
Come on.
I'll send Jake $100 to see this team win.
All right, deal. I got you.
Yeah. I like seeing that smile, Hamburger.
We'll do it, man.
These parts.
Come on, Hamburger. We're going to update this dance by the end of the week. Instead of the no wins dance, it's going to be the 1-win dance. Hell yeah. They're going to win a game, Dylan. As bad as they are, they're not going 0-17. There's no way.
Carolina, Cincinnati, Cleveland. That's an opportunity to win any of those 3 games. Do I think that the Jets should be expected to win those games? No, absolutely not. And I don't think, maybe to Hamburger's point, the expectation is we're not going to pick the Jets to win any of these games. But to say that they're just dead in the water, I don't know. Dude, if you combine last week's defense with, I don't know, week 4 offense against Miami, that's a 4-win team, right? That feels like a 4-win team, the way the defense played. And then you get some signs of life on offense. It felt like we were literally 1 15-yard throw away from winning our first game with the most putrid version of our offense. So if the defense, trends in this direction, I'm not saying they're going to hold every team to 13 points, but last week's defense and week 4 offense, we're probably a 4-win team down the stretch.
They're going to win a couple games. I truly believe that. David Atkins says, Jake, thanks for all you do. As Maniac Therapy is the best. If we don't laugh and have fun at the absurdities of this community, then, man, people are like, how do you do the show year round? Like when the Jets are this bad. And I'm like, tune in on a random Thursday. And you never know what you might see. Could be
Who said 0-6 can't be entertaining?
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this man, the farting addict monster.
See, now that he's not actually playing, he wants us to see him not actually playing. But when he was really playing before, he quickly turned it off.
Thank you for this nonsense beast. More of your calls, but first let me shout out Bronx Jet fan who's in the raffle for 5. Find me the show that's going to give away a signed Darrelle Revis helmet at the end of it. That's a daily raffle right there. Gift to enter for your chance to win. The display case is included. Rob writes in, thanks for being Jet Therapy. It's needed. Jake and Dylan are the best segment all week. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you tuning in. We love having Dylan on. And make sure you guys subscribe to Dylan's channel. I will link it in the chat momentarily here. Dylan's well on his way to getting 2,000 subscribers. Let's keep it rolling here with your calls. Philly Noodles is up next. Hello, Philly.
Oh, Cuzzo, Jake.
Cuzzo, I'm gonna see you in a couple days.
Oh, facts. Let me. First off, we got the gift on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
wifey
I'm
said,
excited for this chili, dog. It might be more excited than the football game we're about to watch.
Oh yeah, a quart of chili.
Oh yeah,
a quart of chili.
There it is. Shout out Mrs. Philly Noodles.
Mrs. Noodles, bro. First off, I see what you're doing with those 4.5 percenters. I know. Come on, Dylan spitting game out there, looking like the representative for all the single ladies and single moms in America.
I'm speaking for my mom, who was a single mom for 10 years, and I'm speaking for my ex-wife a little bit because I see what single women go through on a daily basis. It's not what Gary's saying it is.
No. Gary's like, and when you got to churn the butter, somebody's got to do it. And I'm at work tilling the lawn and tilling the land. Is he Amish? I don't know if he's Italian, bro. He might just be Amish and just in disguise, just lying to us. Bro, oh man, especially Texas. He cannot go in the streets and say some of that stuff, bro. Some of these independent women might take his cornrows out and drag him.
Your dog's walking a tightrope behind you there.
Yeah, oh yeah. Jet's out there, dude. Look at him, ears fluffed up. I named my dog Jet. I should kill Woody Jones.
I got a dog named Jet too. It's okay.
Oh, look at this. This was up, bro. All right, so check it. You said something just before. We went negative net 10. If he just made 110-yard completion to Garrett Wilson for a 0, just a flat 0 on the game, we would have won because we would have kicked the field goal.
Correct.
So it's just unbelievable.
Those 10 yards made the difference. Yep.
Yeah, literally 10 effing yards.
The out route to Garrett. If you hit that, you're in so much better field goal range.
100%. I mean, this weekend, I don't know. We're going into the Lions den, the Panthers den. This is going to be brutal.
They're coming to us, baby. They're the MetLife Maniacs are going to be out there.
Ask Dylan where we're going. We're going to a football bar. That's a Panthers bar.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Jets, but yes, you guys are going to a Panthers bar.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal, dude. We better win, I swear to God. I really
it's going to be a long ride home if we lose.
Bro, I really do think it's still 1-8. We beat the Browns because we're playing a rookie quarterback. I think you get all the advantage there, especially if like Njoku is maybe injured. He's having some issues. If he's playing, then it may change something. But you're not afraid of Jerry Jeudy. But you could be afraid of obviously Chase in week 7, week 8. So I mean, I don't know, bro. I still am going 1-8. I would like to see them do some Taysom Hill roll with him a little bit, even if like obviously Tyrod's not playing. Just give him some good options. Put 2 tight ends on one side. Put Beck in there. Just have 20,000 linemen just push. Just give them some type of semblance of a hole. Let them run out there. I mean, something's got to give. There's got to be enough wrinkles to just put into the game. But my thing is, what I've been so confused about is if you're Glenn and you know what it is in the New York media, I don't know why he's giving them so much content to rip him off about. I heard it on WFAN today. They're just like, why does he keep feeding the backlash with the reporters? It's like, stop doing it. You're digging yourself the hole, and you are a Jet. You should know that would be a dumb idea. I guess he's living by his guns, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a disservice for the rest of the season if he keeps doing it.
I definitely don't think it helps his case, especially when you're 0-6 and you're losing because of decisions that you directly made. But of all the things that I guess I have to pick a fight with AG about, I think the way he talks to the media is pretty far down the list for me. I don't really care, other than injury reports and things like that about press conferences as a whole. We don't really hear too much. And I don't like comparing AG to Saleh, but the way Saleh spoke to the media was so soft and oh yeah, you know what, Zach Wilson, he sprained his ankle. We're hoping to get him back this week, and then we don't see him for 3 months. So what version of the coach to media, quotes do you really like? And I didn't like what Saleh said, so I at least prefer AG being himself. But I will say it doesn't make his job any easier, and I feel like he's done nothing but make his job harder by talking at the podium, especially going all the way back to the combine. So yeah, in one, I definitely think it doesn't help him. But for me personally, I don't really, I'm not going to grade his performance in the league based on what he says to Kaz and Connor Hughes and Rosenblatt.
Jake, what's your take on it?
He's got to win games. I think it hurts him, Philly. Good call. Because you can't act that way and have no wins, because then it also riles up the fan base. And the fan base is like, really, dude? You're still acting that way? I get it. You don't want to admit defeat. You want to act confident, but I think a little humility would be good for Glenn. I think a lot of people who are just angry, if he owns his mistakes and it's I'm learning, I need to do a better job. And I think people are more willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because he is a Jet and we all want him to succeed because of that.
Yeah. And he kind of started walking it back a little bit. The first half decision, I think it was Monday, not the post-game presser, but the Monday press conference. So after he got to watch the film and evaluate his performance, he did say, he's like, you know what, I messed up there at the first half. I should have taken it down to the wire, thrown the Hail Mary, at least attempted to try to get some points. You just never know what can happen, a penalty, anything. You catch the ball, actually. So
yeah, but then, I think then yesterday, though, he made it worse when he was asked the question about Fields, having to give his receivers a chance. And he's talking about, if he throws a pick, you guys are going to be bitching about that. It's stop, man, stop. There's no reason to add that. This was the sequence yesterday why he's getting a lot of heat from people.
I think you said after the game, you'd like to see him give guys a chance. Something like that. Do you think he maybe needs to take a few more chances in terms of it? It's not the guy's not wide open. Let's try 50-50 ball. Let's try to give Garrett a chance or Josh a chance.
Yeah, here's what I do know is, and you're right, and I've said that, and I still believe that, and I think that's for any quarterback, especially when you have man coverage to give a guy a chance. But I do know if something bad happens, you guys are going to be about him, So the thing is, he just got to go out there and play quarterback and do the best that he can. But I don't come off that at all. When you're in man coverage, you got to give a guy the chance to go catch the ball.
Here's the thing. He says he doesn't care about the outside noise, but all he does is reference the, quote, outside noise in the media every presser. You can't have it both ways. Stop. It's not doing him any good.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's very hypocritical, and it's not doing him any favors as far as, getting cachet with this fan base as far as earning a second season. I totally get that. Me, personally, I don't care really what he says to the media other than injury reports and things of that nature, because we never hear anything of like scheme or philosophy. That the philosophy stuff was back in January and February when he was hired. So I don't really get a ton out of these press conferences. But yeah, when these quotes go around, somebody who's not completely in the weeds is going to see that quote or that headline and play the 10-second clip that you just did and be like, yeah, you're an asshole and you should be winning games if you're going to be an asshole.
Spencer Green says Jalen Waddle to the Jets. He's out in Miami. He's not going to be a Jet. Stop. But thank you for the super
You didn't
chat.
see the breaking tweet that it happened? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He's
Robin
their
says,
wide receiver one. Like, they don't have Tyreek Hill. What are we supposed to do?
Come on now. They're not trading Jalen Waddle to a division team. I'm excited to find out from Fields today that God has a plan for him that includes obstacles. I guess that plan is for him is just a shorter plan than God has for Jets fans. Can I get an amen? Hey, man. Yeah, look. Fields is likable. I think he's a good dude. Teammates like him. He's just not a good quarterback. Like, we kind of knew this. Like, people. Yeah, remember people were trying to argue that Fields is better than Aaron Rodgers. Like, just shut up. All right. You could say you didn't want Rodgers back. You agreed to move on. But if you're one of the dumbasses that tried to call into the show and tell me that Justin Fields is better than Aaron Rodgers, shame on you. I hope you realize that not only did you embarrass yourself, but you brought tremendous shame to your family as well. I'll leave it at that.
I definitely fell for the coaching staff selling us on the fact that they could tailor an offense around him. And I'm not saying Engstrand has done poorly all season. I'd say he has 4 good games of opponent-specific game planning and then 2 really bad stinkers, the stinkers being Buffalo and Denver. I think he called a good game in Pittsburgh. Obviously, we scored 32 points. I thought he called a decent game in Tampa Bay. Obviously, the protection and things of that nature, which again is a quarterback and offensive line issue, to handle those safety blitzes in week 3 was pretty rough with your backup in. Week 4 against Miami, we've both said it. If they scored a touchdown there instead of Braylon Allen fumbling, I think Miami just curls up and dies, and we kind of ground and pound them to death. So I thought week 4 was good. Week 5 against Dallas, again, we were on pace. Our first 3 drives were solid offensive drives. You get the Brees fumble inside the 10 and all goes to shit. So I think he's actually had 4 game plan specific weeks where they were solid game plans. The execution and things of that nature, the quarterback play, the stubbornness potentially to adjust when things aren't working. That's where it comes into play, where I think his shortcomings as an OC have been so far.
Let's get to more of your calls before we wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, up next on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is none other than our favorite Estonian Jet fan, Pred. Hello, Pred.
Hello. Just wanted to put it out there. If the Jets do go 0-17, I'm putting 10 channel memberships on the line. So week 18, if we are 0-17, you know. But
hey, Pred, just so you know, you won a raffle prize, and I'm working on currently getting it internationally shipped out to you. I forget what you won. You won something. I think it was you won the Bart Scott jersey, the Bart Scott signed jersey. So
no shit.
Yep, I'm having my dad's business because they do international shipping, Gusbuster. I'm having him handle the shipping to Estonia. So I know I was going to try and send you some merch. I put that in the package with the Bart Scott jersey. So you'll get it maybe in 2 weeks or something like that. But it is on the way.
I will call in when it arrives.
You got it.
But wanted to make another point that how would you know the Jets are 0-6 without looking at the record? You go into a Jets call-in show and the topic is anything but the Jets, you know? You know, so yeah, I mean,
you got a point there.
You know, when the team's down and out, nobody wants to talk about them. But
how long have you been watching the show, Pred?
And not that long. I discovered you guys fairly recently, and
wow.
And you know, it was week 3, Tampa game that I discovered you guys, and then
you're really brand new.
Then,
wow.
Then,
what do you think of Beast?
Beast is a true staple of the channel. You know, true staple.
Wow.
Well, notice he got panned to, and he picked up the guitar to start fake playing it for us.
He says he hates you though, Pred. You
yeah,
still like him?
we already have history on the Eddie show, so you know, yeah.
Of course you do.
Beast has a history with everybody, unfortunately. Whether you're trying to help him or you completely despise him, he's still gonna be the same way towards you, which is
absolutely
hilarious.
Absolutely. But yeah, discovered the show fairly recently, and you know, enjoyed it quite a bit, and then I was so disgusted with Denver that I decided to call in, and the rest is history. So now here I am.
That's awesome. Well, that's the pain of being a Jet fan, Fred. Hopefully at some point you get to see some wins here.
I want to see a playoff game, man. I haven't seen a playoff game the entire time of watching Jets, So
that's rough.
So have some of my audience, sadly, too. It's been that when we're talking about 15 years, like 15 years is a long time. I was a sophomore in high school the last time the Jets were in the playoffs.
Have any of the next gen Jets seen a playoff game? Any
No.
like Connor Long and the boys?
No, hell no.
That's crazy, man.
They weren't alive, and like even if you're think about it, like if you're 7 or under, you don't remember it. You don't remember the Rex teams. If you're 8,
we need that.
It.
We need that playoff game, for Mad Max, myself, the other young Jets fans. The very few of us who exist because the team.
What do you think of Mad Max, by the way? Do you think that a lot of Americans are like him, or do you think that he's an outlier?
I think he's an outlier. I think there's something going on. He has to be taking something, man.
I have an idea. Well, Fred, keep calling, man. We love your calls from Estonia.
Absolutely, and go Jets.
Like this fan base, once again, we got a guy calling from Estonia, and the Jets can't even just be a competent franchise. They don't deserve this fan base, Dylan. It's unbelievable.
No. And I feel bad for the young Jets fans because they usually get suckered in by their parents, and the wins are just not stacking.
The last time the Jets made the playoffs, Beast was still fat. That's from Gary King. Well, the last time the Jets made the playoffs was 2010. Beast, how much did you weigh in 2010?
I was a straight 226. I felt good back then. I was doing karate back then. And to that guy who said that shit about me, he's lucky I don't bitch slap him and call him out. Because you know what? The next thing he's going to get is the old Jeff Jarrett treatment. It's called, taste this, slap nuts.
Hey, how much do you weigh now, Beast, if you were 226 15 years ago?
265. I feel good.
You're 265
pounds. I have a temper on me right now. You know what I just did? Got a good clip of Slayer right now, and that felt a hell of a lot better listening to some Slayer. The good stuff that I like to, get a nice grip of it. It's like squeezing some liposuction out of someone's throat, and just to make sure that the eyes, dripping in blood and going all over the place. That's the next thing I want.
All right, Beast, that took a turn. Shout out to Keith Kirkwood, who entered our raffle. He's in for one. Big fella with a quick rapid fire. Then we have a special guest in line. I didn't even see this guy was on hold. I would have put him on immediately. Big fella says, Dylan, Simpson or Mendoza? This opinion is subject to change, but if right now the Jets are the number 1 pick and you can only draft either Simpson or Mendoza, who are you taking?
I'm probably taking Mendoza. This is on the preface that I'm watching both of these guys this week. I have not actually done a true film study evaluation on Mendoza or Simpson. I'm going to go watch Mendoza versus Oregon as soon as we get off here. And then I'm going to watch Ty Simpson's probably his last game. I don't remember who exactly Alabama's opponent was, but it feels like they've been picking up ever since the Florida State loss in week 1. So I was I don't want to say I was out on Ty Simpson, but he wasn't on my radar coming into the season. So it's definitely a late guy to the party. But 5 weeks ago, none of these names were on the list. So I appreciate you, big fella. I would say Mendoza, but that's with the admittance that I don't have enough knowledge to speak about either one. But I would say Mendoza. He had a nice 5 touchdown game 3 weeks ago, but Iowa and Oregon gave him a little bit of struggles, but he has played well. So I would say Mendoza right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next is Gator McCluskey. Hello, Gator.
Yo, what are you doing?
Gator.
You called us to talk to us. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I'm going to give 10 memberships if Woody moves the team to England and names them the UK booster shots. What do you think of that?
Sponsored by J&J?
Yeah, man. Why not? Why not?
Gotta have it.
A friend of mine called Jake yesterday and asked me, how does Jake talk about the Jets for 4 hours a day? And I said, he really doesn't. Really. So if you haven't seen the show, you might want to watch it because it's a couple hours, maybe a little more, but it's a lot of other stuff. And I think that's why a lot of us watch it, because I like go back to what you always say. It's going to be amazing to actually see what this show is during a winning season, because we haven't experienced that, right? So I'm dying to find out what it is like to talk about Jets for 4 hours a day, because really, thank God for Beast and a lot of the other stuff that happens, because I mean, how else could we take our minds off of the pain? That being said, I did have a singular Jets point that I wanted to make. And I guess I was having a little bit of sadness thinking about Brees getting traded, because I've always really liked Brees. And the fact of the matter is that, I compare this team to a lot of the Yankees teams that I loved or didn't like. And it always came down to these recent Yankee teams and just a lot of players that I just didn't like. I rooted for them because they were Yankees, but like, there was always a lot of players that I just didn't really like. Brees is one of the few Jets that I've always really, really liked. And I'm going to be super sad to see him go. I wish there was a way we could retain him. And I guess one of my questions to you guys is, what is a guy like that worth on the open market? So if, let's say hypothetically, and to me, honestly, a third, fourth round, as much as that sounds great to some people, to me, I'd rather keep him. It's not my money. I think he's a dynamic player. I think, he has a lot to offer if he's put in the right system, with the right coach, with the right scheme, with the right players around him. I think Brees can be a top 5 running back. What is he worth on the open market for a team that signs him, gives us that 4th round pick, and then ultimately has to sign him to a contract? And why can't we sign him to that contract? Is it really that much money? I mean, he's not going to get Saquon Barkley money, obviously. What are we talking here? Are we talking $12 million a year? Are we talking a lot more, a lot less? I love Brees Hall. I'm really starting to get sad at the thought of not having him on the team, because why? For a 3rd round pick that could end up being a nobody that we don't even use.
To your point, if that, I don't know they get a 3rd round pick. I agree. I think the idea that they can't keep him, I mean, you're going to have a rookie quarterback next year. Brees is as good as a receiver out of the backfield for that check down option, and he's a good running back. So, I mean, I don't know, Dylan. Did you pull up running back contracts? Like, I think if Brees Hall got 12, 13 million a year, I'd be good with that.
Kyron Williams just got 13, I believe, in his most recent extension. So if you're going to do like a dummy 2-year, like quasi franchise tag looking deal with Brees, it'd probably be like 2 years, 22 million, with maybe most of it guaranteed. So you at least, he has some assurances if he were to get hurt, especially in that 2nd year of the deal. Is he likely to sign a 2-year contract? I'm not sure. I feel like a running back on the open market, is he going to get a 3+ year deal somewhere else? I don't think so, to be completely honest with you. So you have to weigh the 2-year dummy deal versus a 5th round pick now, because that's what I think his value is, a 5th round pick in a trade at the deadline, or a comp pick 4th round pick based on what the contract could be in free agency. So you have to weigh all those things out. I'm kind of with you though, Gator. I would take the 2-year dummy extension at like 12.5. Let's just say 2 for 25. It might be a little bit of an overpay right now, but 2 for 25 and 20 million is guaranteed, so that he has some assurances. I would much rather have that than the 141st pick in next year's draft, just being completely honest. And it's not even going to be that high. That's like a late 4th round pick. If you got a 4th round pick from this year. So I think it's a non-starter for me to move Brees Hall unless you're getting a 4th round value from him this year. And even still, like, I don't feel comfortable that we can just replace a guy of Brees' talent. I know it's been done before. Kyron Williams, who we just talked about, was a 4th or a 5th round pick himself. But I think there's enough left in the tank for Brees Hall here on a 2-year extension to help alleviate some of those rookie quarterback woes that we believe we're going to see in 2026.
Yeah, I liked you saying that because, like I said, I've been a little down about losing him because I genuinely like the guy. I don't think there's anything not to like about Brees Hall. He's, when he's on, man, I mean, he looks as good as anybody, but he's
like
not
top
exactly
10 in the league right now in 10+ yard rushes. Like, or three plus yard rushes. And I know that sounds silly, but like 63% of his runs are over 3 yards. And that's saying something considering like not all the time he has really big holes to run through.
And they haven't even yet taken advantage of his receiving ability.
Right.
You know,
and that's why we
haven't.
got hashtag free 20. It's no coincidence that it comes after a game where he was brutally underutilized in the run game and had no targets in the pass game. We've seen free 20 before come out of Brees when it was a utilization tweet or post. It's not a get me off this team type of post. So I genuinely believe that.
I remember a sideline catch he made a couple of games ago. I can't remember the team exactly.
Dallas on the sideline where, yeah, or maybe Miami. But yeah, it was it was an ugly pass, but a beautiful body contortion, catch it on the sideline, tap 2 feet down, like stuff that Nathaniel Hackett never got to experience with Brees Hall.
Yeah, I mean, he should absolutely be our number 1 receiver, on Sunday.
Yep. Him and Mason.
Who's better? So that's it. I'm getting sad about Brees. I hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see.
Hey, Gator, someone said that you should invite Beast down to Tampa so you guys could wrestle alligators together. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, I mean, I'd invite him just knowing that he would never get here, but whatever. He's incapable of keeping his emotions in check, man. Guy's got to cool the engines. I love the guy. I want to see him survive as long as possible, but his emotions are just off the charts. Poor guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gator McCluskey.
You made a fool of yourself. I got the clip, yeah, no doubt. And if you call me Kevin James, then I'll knock your ass out. Bitch, I'm Gator McCluskey. Gator McCluskey. Clipping up your shame. Yeah, my edits are crusty. Gator McCluskey. Gator McCluskey. Your worst hot take is my dinner plate clumsy. Gator McCluskey. Gator McCluskey. Yeah, the bitch is swoon, 'cause I'm freaking Gator McCluskey.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I had that Gator intro that the Human Fund put together.
We need Gator and Alan doing a TikTok dance like that video shows.
Alan was on hold, but he's not anymore. So
yeah, I asked him to call in and debate because I know he likes to yell at me when I'm commenting when he's on air. So I wanted to at least have a face-to-face debate about all the things that both of us are wrong about. But Alan's nonsense is greater than my nonsense. We all know that.
Agreed. Ladies and gentlemen, let's rapid fire through the last remaining calls because I just looked at the clock and we're already going to go over 2 hours today. We also have to give away the Revis helmet, so get your entries in. Signed Darrell Revis helmet up for grabs. End of the show. Hit it, Papa Jet. You're next.
Holy shit, look at that beard! He has a beard, he's the man. Ain't no Santa Claus. Papa Jet loves the jet. He's one handsome son of a bitch. It's Papa Jet.
Hey guys, you got me?
Mr. Papa Jet.
Where the hell's Etonian or Etonia or wherever? Where's that at?
The what?
Wasn't the guy from another country or something? What was
Estonia?
It? Yeah, where's that at?
They're Russia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's say it's probably Eastern Europe. Yeah.
DT, did you do film on the Denver game?
Bits and pieces. I watched the offense, and then I watched something specific about our defense. Maybe it was third downs. I think I watched our third downs on defense. So the full offense and then defense third downs.
I've been saying it for weeks. We all have, right? Fundamental football, wrapping up when you tackle. I think it was the play before their touchdown. The tight end caught the ball, and Cisco went to tackle him. Just try to look that play up, and it's probably one of the saddest displays of
The
trying
third,
to tackle
it's
somebody.
a third and hold on. I have notes on this, Papa. I'm glad you actually brought this specific play up because I do have notes on it. It was a third down. I want to say it was a 3rd and 6, and Ingram got behind Sherwood and Maui Noah, and Cisco came downhill from a too high shell and just led with his shoulder and didn't even try to wrap him up or do anything like that, and he bounced right off him. Yeah, I have the notes.
It was
right
pathetic.
Here. It was 3rd and 6 at the Jets 32. The Jets come out and cover 2 zone, which was, something that we harped on, stop doing man on third down. Ingram gets in a little in route behind Sherwood and Maui Noah. I had that right. Cisco comes downhill. No use of his arms, just his shoulder, and he bounces right off Ingram, and Ingram gets like 3 or 4 more yards after the play. Gain of 16 on 3rd and 6 to get inside the red zone.
Yeah, it was one of the saddest displays I've ever seen. So I wanted to mention it to you in case you wanted to clip it and have it for future. This is what not to do.
Yeah, I have the third downs clipped out. It's just YouTube is so shitty blocking all my videos, and I'm trying to find a good balance between showing the film and not getting in trouble on YouTube.
Okay. And, as far as at the end of the game, it didn't really piss me off because that kind of decision is you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And half of the people probably complaining that he didn't kick the field goal. If it ends up 5 yards short, they're going to flip it around anyways and say you should have went for it. I mean, I see reporters do this all the time. So
but Papa, he didn't know the yardage. That's the problem, right? Beyond not knowing the decision, he didn't make the decision because he thought it was 65 or 68, and it was 61. And Falk hit from 58 2 weeks ago. So that's not good enough to just excuse it. He would have been criticized either way. I don't think any of us would have honestly criticized him if he kicked there on 4th and 8. We knew they were not going to get a first down on 4th and 8, given how Fields was playing.
That's what I was going to say. I think it was more of a game flow decision / reaction from the fan base, right? If Justin Fields was showing signs of having, good passes on film earlier from that game, yeah, maybe you can trust him on 3rd and 8 or 4th and 8. But the fact that he was already, surrendering so many sacks, it was already 8 at that point. I felt like the fan base as a whole would have felt better about the decision to kick it, even like you said, if it comes up 5 yards short, just because unfortunately that actually gave them the better chance to win would have been your oldest, player on the team kicking probably 5 yards out of his range.
Right. And that's the thing. It's kind of based off that. But the thing that I was upset more, he shouldn't have been in the game. I was all for putting Taylor in there.
Yeah, 100%.
And then him getting sacked. How many times was he sacked? And what are you guys laughing at?
Somebody commented, "Jesus, what happened to Green Bean?"
Well, he got it good looking. That's what happened.
He got a makeover.
Yeah, but what the hell was I going to say now? I don't know what the hell I was going to say. But anyway,
nobody knows. We stink. Sorry. That's it. We know.
But hey, I gotta you know how we've been getting some records lately, like I think the Denver game where we the first team to have no turnovers under 2 penalties, kept them under so many yards and still lose, right?
Yep.
And then the 0-6 without a turnover, right? This ain't really a record, and I don't know if too many people know this. Some probably do. It's more or less a stat, but it is so sad, it just makes you laugh. Now, the Baltimore Colts / Indy Gorman Colts, right, have been out of our division for 25 years. They have more division titles than the New York Jets.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
Is that sad or what?
Completely.
And all you can do is laugh about it,
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even close. I think they got 5 and we got 2.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry, Papa, which is why I'll play you out with this.
And Jet fans are clueless. They're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach.
The pain. All right, more calls. The Chuck
Apparently
Wagon.
he said things today that people enjoyed or agreed with.
Who did?
Howard. So
Howard said things about the Jets?
On how to fix the Jets, yeah, and people are actually agreeing with him. So
do the opposite.
Yeah.
He'll flip-flop and change his opinion the next day. When the first rumors of the Jets potentially being interested in Rodgers came out, he couldn't have been more. They got to get him. That's exactly what they need. Young team. He's the missing piece. Good young coach. Fix the defense. Then they get Rodgers. And literally the next day it flipped. It's a bad move. And it's on tape. Like Funhouse, that guy on X has it. So it's unbelievable. Chuck Wagon is next. Hello, Mr. Wagon.
Hey. Just wanted to be quick, show you what I was making today for dinner. Beef stew.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Nice. Is that in honor of Beast?
Yeah. I figured.
Well, thank you, Chuck Wagon. Do you have any jet points? You just wanted to show off tonight's dinner?
Nope.
No?
Just wanted to show tonight's dinner.
All right. Thank you.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Maybe Gator's right. Maybe I don't talk about the Jets.
I'd say Thursday afternoons. There's probably the most Jets talk on the feed.
Oh yeah, definitely. First hour was straight Jets. Party with Peg and Artie. They're in the Revis helmet raffle for one. Matt L says, Pred, I'm 64. I've been a lifelong Jet fan. Jake, I'm hooked on the show. A great friend who wore 92 for the Jets told me to watch. Sean Ellis told you to watch this show, Matt L. Leonard Williams told you to watch this show.
Leonard Williams, yeah. Oh man.
Lecky Fotu told you to watch this show.
Oh god. How did you know? Did you pull that up? Did you or do you just remember that Lecky wore 92?
No, those are the only 92s I can remember off the top of my head.
I was gonna say that's a pretty good recall. If you just knew Lecky Fotu's number, that's pretty good.
I mean, Sean Ellis is a given. I remember.
That's the only one I thought.
Leonard Williams. He was first round pick, obviously.
Yeah.
What other 92s are there in Jet history? I'm missing an obvious one.
Well, this guy's 64, so he's probably seen a couple more 92s than we have.
Damn. All right. More calls. I mentioned Party with Peg and Artie, and Artie's on the line. Hello, Artie.
Hey, Jake. Dylan, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Artie. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, I want to give you some cred. Dylan, your show last night was absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
I had a great conversation with David D and a couple of the other Detroit Lions fans, asking them about the similarities between what the Jets are going through now and what Detroit went through 2021. And we were talking about the similarities, even like Dan Campbell making all those mistakes as a coach the first year, to the press conferences, saying some bombastic things. Also how the defense gelled first before the offense got it together. There just seemed to be a lot of similarities. Almost seems like, the one thing that I found interesting too is the roster turnover. That on 2021 team, they didn't have one player in the defensive backfield on the team in like 2023-24. There's a big roster turnover. I'm hopeful. I was he's got to go guy too, but it kind of talked me off the ledge a little bit. I'm not happy about the way this season is either, but maybe he does need some time. Maybe there is a plan. That's all we got is a little hope, Jake, Dylan, what else are you going to do? We're going to shoot ourselves.
Yeah, we got 11 games for this staff to really show us what they're made of. Obviously, we hope it's going to be better. I don't have evidence to say that it will immediately get better, but I think that there are some signs. We just need to play complementary football. I think that's what's eluding us right now more than anything else. When the offense shows up, the defense doesn't. When the defense shows up, the offense doesn't. If both of them show up, will the coaching staff show up? Like that's, we have a lot to find out in these next 11 games, but I'm not on the fire anybody train. I'm not on the ledge with this team either. I feel like it's gotten me numb at this point, especially after all the Rodgers stuff. I feel like from a personal standpoint, I had to take a step back and say, like, okay, maybe I was wrong about the team as a whole when we got Rodgers and where we were at and what I thought we were coming into this season. So it's been a learning process throughout this whole thing, and I think that's the only thing I can point to with AG is that it is a learning process. And if these decisions keep piling up in a negative way, then yeah, we feel bad about it. But I don't know. I still have faith that they can turn this around. And there's plenty of examples. I know everybody loves to do the Dan Campbell thing. A cool stat that I've kind of been following, and it's not like a following stat type of thing, but opponents in the week after playing the Jets this season. So we have 5 game sample size of that. What do you think that team's record is the week after they play the Jets?
0-5?
1-5. 1-5. The only team that won was Buffalo on a short week against Miami. Every other opponent that played us has lost the next week. Now, it's kind of funny because
I'm sorry, Jake, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's funny because Dallas and Miami both played Carolina the week after they played us. So Carolina is the reason that stat is inflated to help us. But I also think it speaks a little bit to the aggressiveness that the Jets do want to play with, that physicality that they want to play with. Tampa Bay was so banged up coming out of that game. And I believe they went on to play Philly the next week. So it's also a very hard competition opponent. But that's also more telling as to where this team could be going, is they play some of their games pretty rough.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's too small of a sample size to be like, oh, the Jets they're not winning, but they're damaging.
I want
these
to
other
say the
teams.
stat, but I feel like it's important because that was one of the things about Dan Campbell's Lions when they were 0-10-1 that year. Whatever they finished 3-13, opposing teams were like 2-14 the following week after playing that version of the Lions. So like I think there is some correlation there, but you need to see more tangible evidence that that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like there's nothing going to happen this season that's going to help us this season. It's all about evaluations and see how guys are doing. I mean, we're really all about next season anyway, which brings up a very important point, Jake, that we haven't discussed at all, is the Jets are playing in Chicago next year, I believe, what I heard. That would be an excellent place to go for a Asmaniac meetup game, and we can get tours of the attic, which I think is vital.
Chicago's on the short list already. The issue with Chicago is the time of year that the Jets would be playing. Like, because I don't know if people want, like, if the Jets suck, we don't want to do Chicago in November or December. So the game has got to be a road game early. Ideally, since it looks like the Jets are going to be in last place this year and the Titans are going to be a last place team in the AFC South, Jets go to Nashville next year because the road game is AFC South. So I was hoping it'd be Houston. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'd love to do an Asmaniac trip to Nashville because I didn't get to go last year when people went.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I'm close. I'm close to Nashville. That's pretty local for me. I'm about 2 hours from the furthest east coast of Tennessee. So I understand Nashville is probably not right there on the coast, but that's within either a short flight or a somewhat short drive for me. So that'd be cool.
All right.
But I brought that stat up, and I didn't want to like make it seem like the Jets are like bullying their opponents, but like it is something to monitor that they wanted to play physically, and teams get a little bit beat up coming out of our games.
Yeah, the defense has been so bad though, so I don't really think they've been that like.
Well, we're beating them up offensively too. I think about Miami and like the ground and pound game, and like they just didn't even want to tackle us to a certain degree in that game. So,
but they were awful against the run all year. The Jets just took advantage of that early in that game.
Right. Of course.
Big time in the raffle for one. Thank you, big time. Appreciate you. Lou B in the house. He says he's bringing 100 people to the game Sunday. Good Lord. No surrender. Lou, I'll see you there. I love it. Lou B, the man, the myth, the legend. David D with a super chat here. 2 more entries for David. Jake and Dylan, what are your opinions of Jets offensive line coach Steve Heiden's job performance through 6 games? I think the O-line overall has been adequate. I want to see more from both Olu and Membu throughout the year, especially Olu, but I think Membu's been very good. I think Tippmann has transitioned to guard really well. I don't think Myers has been a liability at center, although I thought he had a poor game this past Sunday. I think the offensive line is significantly better than it's been. I do think they're better coached there, and it's only been 6 games, so I definitely want to see more, but I don't think Heiden's been bad.
Yeah, I think when you look at the reactions to hiring a former tight ends coach that's never been the full-time guy at offensive line, the reaction was, this guy stinks. He's never going to do anything better than Keith Carter. So based on expectations, I think he's doing a really good job. There's definitely games where the offensive line is furthest thing from the problem offensively. Even when they're struggling to score points, I think they were doing well. This past game, though, watching the All-22, I came away originally saying this was a lot on Fields, and it still is. The majority is going to fall on Fields from this game, obviously, but Olu multiple times just forgot what technique he was supposed to do, and he abandoned a pass set halfway through his first kick slide. Like, it's things of that nature that were going on the offensive line this game specifically that I absolutely didn't like. Malcolm Roach destroying double team blocks and making tackles in the backfield, just completely unacceptable. You can't have that, and that's more on Tippmann and Membu for the reps that I saw. Myers got beat across his face, so using this 1 game sample size against Denver, I would say it was a very bad performance for the offensive line. But for the first 5 weeks, they were the furthest thing from the problem. Even when, like Tampa Bay, they couldn't get the protection calls right. That's a coaching, quarterback, and offensive line collective failure. So I think the O-line is doing well, but we got to see more out of Membu. I want to see Myers do a little bit better. Tippmann, like you said, has been playing well. Simpson, he's been okay. He got beat a couple times real quickly against Denver. And then I don't know if you saw this. It's been going around on Twitter. Membu's emotions after Justin Fields took that 8th sack. Give me 53 Armand Membus if that's how we're going to act. I want somebody who's going to give a shit about this team and when things go wrong, not be afraid to express it. Kind of like Garrett on the sideline at halftime.
I did see that, and I like the passion. I want players who care. I think he cares. Spencer Green says, Lil Joey's, in the words of Goldberg, you're next. Beast, quickly respond here.
Fuck you, asshole.
Okay, thank you, Beast. Thank you. Jets worldwide in the raffle for 2. People say the Jets won't go 0-17. What evidence do we have thus far this season that that's true? Because I think they should have a couple wins right now if their head coach wasn't inept. So I think Glenn won't be any worse than what we just saw. It's the NFL, and no team has ever went 0-17 before. So I don't think the Jets will do it.
That's true. They went 0-16. You're absolutely right.
There's been 2 0-16 teams. No one under the new format has done 0-17, and I don't think the Jets, who still have talent on this team, are going to be the first to do it.
Yeah.
The 2020 Jets won 2 games. That was the worst team I've ever watched in my lifetime. They stumbled to 2 wins. The Jets will not be winless.
We need the Cleveland Browns on November 9th for their entire wide receiver room to contract COVID-19 so that we can get a win. Or we need Braden Mann back there to tackle the punt returner. Oh my God. I think you're going to accidentally fall into a win at worst, Snowball. But again, I'm not sitting up here trying to convince you with all this lengthy evidence that this team has several wins coming down the pike. I don't believe that. I think it could be a 3 to 4 win team. Maybe Cleveland, Cincinnati, Carolina, one of these 3 games, if not 2 of these games. I would like to take both games against the AFC North opponents. I would sacrifice, and sorry, as maniacs that are going to be there, I would sacrifice a Panthers loss if it meant we win against Cincinnati and Cleveland. Atlanta looks pretty hot right now. So does Jacksonville, but then New Orleans again. Baltimore, who even knows what's going on with them? If Lamar's not back, I mean, is that the worst offense in football right now?
I think he's going to be back for that one.
I think he will be too, but it's just like, you never know. Like, so many things can happen between now and then. I don't want to bank on Buffalo benching their players, because I think Mitch Trubisky can still take advantage of us.
But they can win that game if they sit they're all their starters.
Yes. There's
That's
2
what happened the Gase year in 2019 when they finished that 6-2 run to go 7-9. The last game of the year was Matt Barkley versus Sam Darnold. So they got the win.
We all knew it. We all sniffed out the BS of that 7-9 team.
Yep.
And he was awarded a second season.
Bill M is referring to Beast as Jabba the Fart. Beast, would you like to respond to this nickname here? Hold on.
Right here and right there. Yeah.
So
what about Pizza the Hut? You just did the Spaceballs. What about Pizza the Hut?
Spaceballs is a great. Hey, Spaceballs is a great movie. 1980. Nobody gives a shit.
I'm glad he was going to tell us the production year. Spaceballs 2 coming in 2027.
Tremendous. All right, more calls, ladies and gentlemen. We got David T, Tommy, Black Gypsy, and Gary is still on hold, although I don't know if Gary has actual points he wants to make or he wants to talk about women's rights again, but he's still hanging around the green room. And then we'll close out the show with the raffle for the Revis helmet here. So last chance to get in as we are in the home stretch. David T, you're next.
I got my Iron UJ. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Guys, you just called me. I was going to take a leak, and you said David T's coming up, so I repositioned myself. I can hold it.
Are you in your bathroom right now?
Nope. I come out of the bathroom, and it's not an emergency leak situation, so I'm good. What a great show, Jake. About real life and the Jets, and so I'm gonna get right into the Jets. At this point, and Dylan, I am, call me crazy, but I'm jumping on Aaron Glenn's back. Last week that you guys had said that the defense played really well and all that kind of stuff, and you can't convince me that Aaron didn't, have to do with that, in collaboration with Will. And I'm just going to put faith that he's going to, a lot of his decisions have been missed decisions, but he can improve as a head coach, keep improving. There's a lot of games left, on the job training and all that kind of stuff. And what else did I want to say? The only thing I'm confused about, and Jake, you have said many, many times, you want to put the best players in the position to win the game. I still would start Tyrod Taylor this week. I mean, your guys' opinion, I could be wrong. And I know I went to the Tampa game and I was glad to see Tyrod, and he threw that pick six at the end of the first half and it blew all the wind out of my sails. But I still was, happy to see him play for the Jets,
Now, David T, let me ask you something. If you're Aaron Glenn, what are you saying to Justin Fields as you bench him? Deliver the message.
Okay, Justin, here's what we're going to do. We still have complete faith in you. You're a young player.
Coach, why am I not playing?
Because you're not doing very well, and
Coach, you're not doing very well.
Oh shit.
all right, so we're both learning on the job, and
but I have more experience than you do. You got to trust me. I know more than you.
Justin saying that?
Yeah, I'm Justin. You're Aaron Glenn.
All right. Well, if we're gonna put you the fuck in there, when they call the plays, don't be afraid, because if you don't play well, you're not gonna be in the league that long. Don't be afraid. Just wing it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
You got the talent.
Yeah, I didn't know David T had that in him. I love it.
You kept pressing the man. You were saying all this shit. You were talking so much cheese as Justin Fields. I'm the experienced guy. Well, your experience should allow you to make good quarterbacking decisions and not let David T say the F word.
A David T F-bomb, man. This Jet Caesar really is a shitter. Tommy's next. Hello, Tommy.
Jake, Asman, Dylan Tereman. What's up, brothers?
Tommy.
What up, Tommy?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
We got you.
All right. Yo, David T, classic. Love that man. Man, awesome, dude. I was going to make all my points got sidetracked with all the great calls, man, because I just want to say real quick to Papa Jet, like, you had to go for that 62-yard field goal. You had to. Any other coach would have went for it instead of after you watch Justin Fields get sacked and sacked and sacked and then not throw the ball away. You had to, at that point, just see what we could, like, kick the fucking field goal, man. Like, I hope Nick Folk comes out and kicks 62-yard field goals all fucking week in practice, and I hope he knocks one down this week. Besides that point, and then I'm gonna get to my Jet points. But Beast, I love you. Hang in there, baby. What is it? The disaster? What's the name of
the Dangerous Alliance?
The dangerous, yeah. Right? The Dangerous Disaster Alliance, baby. Let's go. I'm in it, Dylan. I'm in. I've been in there for weeks. All right, and I support Beast, man.
Tommy, what happened?
What do you? No, look. I love all Jeff fans, and Beast is a very good person, man. He's generally has a good heart. So, like, I look out for everybody. You know what I mean? That, like, is like my type of people. Beast, what's up, brother? This Dangerous Alliance, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's
go. Breaking news. What's good?
Ace Frehley of KISS just died tonight.
Rest in peace.
Here come the tears.
I've been a Kiss guy for a long time, but sometimes, you know what? The best things that we have to look forward to is we have to move on. But come Sunday, expect no mercy.
No Patronum.
Somebody's head
No
be drenched
Patronum.
in blood.
I've never seen someone deliver a eulogy and then start talking about the Jets as quickly as we just did.
All right, DT, my question to you, okay?
Yep.
Now, I guess it depends on if we go to 0-8 after, our bye week, and then the trade deadline happens then. But do you honestly think the Jets are going to get rid of, first of all, Breece Hall and then Quinnen, not Quincy? Quincy is probably gone because they're not signing two linebackers for $15 million. And I think they should have signed Quincy what they signed Sherwood's contract for, but they already made that mistake. So I know they're not going to – I hope they don't get rid of JJ now, and they're not getting rid of Garrett. So do you think Quinnen and Breece are actual trade options come deadline, or it depends on how we play and what our record gets to at that point?
Quinnen specifically, I'm not trading him. The only way that I'm trading him is if somebody gives me a package that includes a first-round pick and either a third-round pick or a young player with multiple years of contractual obligations, similar to like the Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Contract. We still have him through 2027. So if you get a first-round pick and a young ascending talent that this coaching staff can work with, maybe. The other thing is if Quinnen comes to the coaching staff or front office, whoever you want to assign the role of GM, AG, or Muji, and he says, my timeline in my career does not line up with your timeline in terms of winning football games on a serious level, I want to be traded. That's the only two ways I'm trading Quinnen. The only way I'm trading Breece Hall, honestly, I'm not trading Breece Hall this year. I would rather just let him walk and get the comp pick in 2027 because I think the return on Breece this year is not worth it if it is rumored to be a 5th-round pick. Maybe if you get a 4th-round pick, you can kind of sell me on it. I still don't think so. This offense is going to look abysmal for 11 games or however many games you don't have Breece Hall, even when Garrett is fully healthy. Like, I'm just not a believer in taking away the talent that the coaching staff is already trying to work with, because if we don't trust them in a year 2 situation, I'm not going to hear, oh, well, we had no talent down the back end of the season. We decided to trade it all away. But please let us be the ones to use those draft picks that we have acquired. And you guys are going to hate all the 5th-round picks we take, like Tyler Barron. So you can kind of talk yourself into circles with this. I just don't want to fully trust the coaching staff and front office to do all these crazy personnel roster moves where if they are going to be one and done, I would rather, hopefully an offensive-minded coach comes in next year and gets to make these personnel moves and decisions about our offensive playmakers. So I'm holding put on just about everybody. Now, to his point about the linebackers, my hot take last night was they should have extended Quincy Williams on a shorter-term deal for potentially less money than Jamie Sherwood. The way Sherwood is playing this year is not up to snuff. There were other teams who wanted to pay him more. So you kind of look like, yeah, you got the guy on a hometown discount, but up until week 6, he's looked awful. He looked a lot better in week 6. He had his warts in man coverage, specifically on a wheel route to Marvin Mims where he let up 26 yards on 3rd and 4, and they ended up kicking the game-winning field goal on that drive, which was helped by that 26-yard pickup. So I'm not a huge fan of Jamie Sherwood, and I would have rather paid Quincy Williams. But my question to Tommy, though, and you don't have to bring him back on, if the Jets lose on Sunday, are you going to go to work?
Dylan, I wanted to start out this conversation. Actually, that was one of my first thoughts. I only missed 2 Mondays, okay, out of the 6 games that I called out.
What about the Tuesday after we played on Monday night? What about that one?
No, I always go to work Tuesday, Wednesday. It's always just that Sunday where literally for like at least 4 or 5 games after the 1 o'clock game, I just go to sleep and I smoke weed and I pass out and I don't want to wake up because I'm so fucking depressed. I don't even watch the other games. Like, that's how bad the Jets have got me. I don't even watch the other games.
So let's try this. Smoke a little bit less weed after the Jets game so you can stay awake to watch good quality football in the 4 and 8 p.m. windows, and then you'll feel just as motivated to go to work on Monday. Don't let this team be the reason you miss out on more money, bro. Don't let them do that to you.
Dude, I know, because I'm buying your shirt and I'm buying Jake's fucking Asmaniac green hat, brother.
Yeah.
So let me get to work and get that merchandise so I could be fresh walking around Jersey City and into MetLife Stadium, baby. Let's
All right, home stretch here. We gotta wrap
Was he
the show.
dancing to the music? Was Beast dancing to that no win dance music?
Always. Yeah, he's always doing it. That's why I put him on real quick. People get a little feel. All right, here we go. Black Gypsy, quick points here. We are going to have a 3-hour show if I don't end this soon. Go ahead.
I watched the tape from the last game on defense like a couple of times. Brownlee is calling the defense, if you didn't notice.
Dude, it doesn't surprise me, dude. Jamie and Sherwood is not the green dot that they wanted. It was Quincy, and now it's Brownlee.
Sherwood is looking back at him, and Brownlee's calling the plays, and that's why Brownlee broke on all the plays so much faster than everybody else. So, from what I can see, Brownlee and
Two
JJ.
games in, he's already wearing the green dot.
I don't know if he's got the green dot, but he's certainly communicating the most.
They said it. They said he fit into the defense so much quicker than the rest of our players in a press conference. That means it was crazy because I watched it and I was like, oh, he's calling the plays. So with him and JJ, Wilk's defense can actually work because you need someone to command it.
Clip that Gator. Clip that Gator.
Plus, literally, Brownlee played like a linebacker. If you watch the game, he came up on most plays and played basically Sherwood's spot for him. And Sherwood missed a lot in the first part of the game, but towards the second half, it's like he was understanding what they were trying to tell him. So Brownlee's running the defense. That's the defensive point. On offense, I came up with a thought process, right? Because Wilson's hurt. So with this team that we have, I had a play that I was telling you about it yesterday. 3 tight end sets with Arian as our either slot or outside receiver, right? So with Beck back there and then Hall. That is how he run that offense with the team that he has right now on the roster. Like Baltimore did it the year that Baltimore had those 3 tight ends out there and they were just running it and they literally were just killing the inside and then breaking outside. Right? That's the play. Out of split backs, do it to a strong and then maybe a single back at the same time. That's what I was thinking for play calling, to run the option with him because it simplifies his option reads. It gives him one and pass. And most times he passes wrong when he has one guy next to him. If you give him 2, I think it equals the odds out. That's what I had for the offensive play call. What do you think?
I'm in agreement. I've been a component of 11 or 12 personnel, whichever one you want to run. Obviously, with Garrett, it's probably going to be more 12. Just go a little bit more spread and let Justin Fields, right or wrong, do the zone read stuff. Like, I'm okay with him getting the zone reads wrong as long as they're trying it. When they do the zone reads and he's looking at the end man of line of scrimmage and he's automatically handing the ball off and not even trying, obviously it shows that he's hurt, but it's like, dude, just trust yourself. Like you've gotten here based on these aspects and principles of your game. So I'm more of a component of less condensed formations, spread them out a little bit more. Our guy Malcolm Flex, he sent me Tennessee versus Arkansas, Tennessee's offense versus Arkansas's defense, and they did a lot of those similar concepts where they could have 12 personnel, but have a Beck type and Brees in the backfield split wide on either side of Fields. And like you said, they had 2 formations where they ran what's called tackle over. So they had Membu to the left of Fashanu, and then they had Ruckert at the right tackle spot. And then in the backfield, they had Mason Taylor and Brees Hall opposite sides of field. They ran it the first time. It didn't work. And then they ran it the second time, and Fields kept it with the lead block coming from Mason Taylor. So like there are principles that they can tap into. And I don't think the condensed 11 personnel is what's going to work for them at all.
All right. That's what I had.
Thank you, Mr.
You.
Black Gypsy. You said a lot today, and his rumble with Gary will be discussed for centuries to come. Triznik, gifted 5. Last chance, truly last chance. I'm putting the names together right now if you want a chance to win a signed Darrell Revis helmet.
What is this? Who is this guy? Bad freaking Bunny. What is that?
Triznik also wrote in any info on extra tickets for Sunday. Well, Big
We got
Cho
one.
is still trying to sell his ticket after Mad Max welched on their agreement. So, yeah, Trisnick, if you want to buy the ticket off of Big Cho, he needs $105 and not a dime less.
Does
Those
that
are the
price
rules.
go down as the game approaches closer?
I don't speak Big Cho, so I'm not sure. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here, hold on, Dylan. StreamYard's acting up. We have time for one more call.
Warning! Warning! Allen alert! Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning! Allen alert! Hide the children.
Dylan, who told me that Justin Fields was just as good as Drake May.
Did not say that. You're already starting off with a lie. Told
me that the Jets were going to be as good as the Patriots. You did.
I said they were going to be close. Yep, I did. And I said that the Jets had more talent on the roster, but I did not say Drake May and Justin Fields were anywhere near close. You watched that episode, Allen, and you were all over my comments. I had Josh Allen, then I had Tua Tagovailoa at 2, and then I had Drake May.
5 games.
I had Tua and
Patriots going to win 5 games, Dylan. 5 games.
Fine.
Okay.
That's fine. My prediction was wrong. I'm not the only one who predicted more than 5 games, Allen.
Wins.
I did not say anything close to Justin Fields and Drake May. That is bullshit, and you know it. It's bullshit, and you know it, Allen. Just admit that was bullshit. You came in hot, and it was bullshit. When did I say that Justin Fields was better than Drake May? I didn't. Didn't once, Allen. Not once. No, not once. Go back and watch the video. You were there. You were there. The gap between Tua and Drake is smaller than the gap between Drake and Justin, is what I said. Get the hell out of here, dude. You're coming out lying. You're coming out lying.
Dylan, it's not lying.
Coming out lying, bro.
You said it was this small, Dylan.
No, I did not. I said between him and Tua. The gap between him and Tua and the gap between Drake and Justin was much bigger. Come on, dude. You're being dishonest. You're being dishonest.
Times difference.
You're being dishonest.
Dylan, I'm sorry, Dylan. You said
You're being dishonest. You're not even being truthful. If you were being truthful, I would admit to it.
Dylan,
like the 5 wins thing. I would admit to it.
Stop. I like your takes. You said it was this close. Okay?
Did not.
You did. You did. It's fine. Okay. It's fine. Today is a horrible day for the Jets because
it's always a horrible day for the Jets, Allen.
The guy I wanted as the next head coach decided to re-up with the Indiana Hoosiers. He would have been
as he should, though. As he should.
He should have. That was the guy I wanted as the next Jet coach. He would have been.
I thought it was Aaron Glenn.
I liked Aaron Glenn because there was nobody else to pick from. Nobody. No one else wanted the job. No one wanted the job. Okay.
We don't know that. We don't know that, actually. We don't know that.
Johnson wanted the job?
No, I think Woody Johnson didn't interview people who could have wanted the job because of certain decisions they want. No, you're not listening to the words I'm saying, dude.
You're
just not listening.
I am listening. No one wanted this job.
That's not true. That's not true.
Give me the guys who
we
wanted.
We don't know if Mike McCarthy wanted the job. We don't know if Pete Carroll wanted the job. We don't know if Liam Cohen wanted the job. We don't know.
Liam Cohen did not want this job.
Ask them because Woody didn't want them.
They wanted to work with a normal quarterback. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, Dylan. The Patriots.
So you're saying if Pete Carroll had the option to pay Geno Smith $100 million in Vegas or pay Geno Smith $100 million in New York, if given those two options, you think he obviously would have taken Vegas? We didn't even try. You're saying they didn't want the job, but we didn't try to ask them for the job.
To come back here? You got to be kidding me, right? We dumped him after less than a year. You think he's going to take this job? No one wanted this job. No one.
That's not true, Allen. That's not true. That is literally not true. Rex Ryan wanted the job. Rex Ryan wanted the job.
Rex Ryan.
I'm not saying it's a good candidate, but people wanted the fucking job, Allen. People wanted the job.
Head coach. No one wanted this job. Rex Ryan, Doug Peterson, Mike McCarthy. Those guys are done. Okay, please. I want a young head coach.
That's the point.
Liam Cohen didn't want this job.
That is the point. When Woody Johnson hired the 33rd team, I believe that there was a stipulation that Aaron Rodgers was not part of their plan, and any person who wanted Aaron Rodgers was not going to be considered on the list. Any of those people
back. He shouldn't have. It was done.
I don't disagree. I wanted him back, but I don't disagree. But I also think that Woody Johnson didn't even give the chance to the people who could have wanted him back, offensive-minded guys or defensive-minded guys, if they wanted him back.
Aaron Rodgers back. John Gruden was never getting this job. He wasn't.
I'm not going to speak for the coaches who did or didn't, but I genuinely believe that Woody didn't even ask to interview people if they thought that they would have wanted Rodgers back. McCarthy would have wanted the job, I believe, if Rodgers was attached.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
God bless you, Dylan, for having to listen to Alan for that
He came
long.
in lying on my name. Like, I'm not going to sit there and take it. I said Justin Fields was the 4th best quarterback in this damn division. I still stand by it. And I said Drake May was closer to Tua than Justin was closer to Drake May. I was wrong. Drake May is closer to Josh Allen than Tua is to Drake May. I will admit that, but I never said once that Justin Fields was better than Drake May. Get the fuck out of here.
The other thing I'll say to Alan is people wanted this job. They didn't interview McCarthy, Gruden, or Carroll. They interviewed Brian Flores.
How does Allen know that people didn't want this job? That is asinine. That is
That's what it's Dylan. Completely. This is what Allen does, though. He says things
I know.
as if they're fact, and he can't prove that. They interviewed a bunch of candidates. Glenn was considered a legit candidate when they hired him, but I wanted someone with previous coaching experience, and I was annoyed they didn't interview McCarthy, Carroll, or Gruden. Right? That annoyed me. And they interviewed Brian Flores. I think he would have taken the job in a second to be a head coach again. He's from Brooklyn. You don't think you grew up a Jet fan? You don't think you want to be the head coach of the Jets?
I think it was a non-starter for Woody if Aaron Rodgers was attached to any of these coaches by any measure. That's my actual belief, and that's how you get guys like AG and Mike Loxley and Rex Ryan off the ESPN panel. Like, that's how you get guys like that.
Man with a rake, I see your super chat or your membership you're in here. Nick Shine says, am I the only one getting aroused by DT? The chillest guy I know yelling at Allen.
I love you, Nick. I try to keep it chill. I usually do, but don't lie and say that I said something that I know I didn't say. And I know Allen was for fact on that live stream because he was one of my biggest commenters on that stream because all he wanted to talk about was his tenting over Drake May.
Ladies and gentlemen, time to spin the wheel of champion. Someone's going to win a Darrelle Revis signed helmet. Isn't that great? It is. If you win, I need your name and address so I know where to mail it to. Good luck to everybody. There can only be one winner. If you don't win, you're entered in our weekly raffle. But the winner of a Revis helmet is... Ant Banks. Ant Banks. I don't know your info. So email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, and you will be the winner of the Darrelle Revis signed helmet. Congratulations. And again, thanks to everyone who supports these raffles. We couldn't do it without the support of the community. Hit the Jet chant. All right, Dylan, enjoy a nice beer. Watch Flacco and Rodgers tonight.
Hold on, I went back. I found the evidence. I'm sorry. I'm actually heated about this because I hate when people say that I lie. My exact words when I had Justin Fields ranked 4th in our division, I said there's Josh Allen, a big gap between Tua, a smaller gap to Drake May, and then I said my exact words, Allen, Justin Fields to Drake May, the gap is smaller than the gap is from Tua to Josh Allen. Where did I say Justin Fields was better than Drake May?
Damn,
I pulled
Allen.
up the tape. I have the evidence. Come on,
Receipt.
man. I will admit when I'm wrong. I have no problem with it. He wanted to say I had them more than 5 wins. I did. I just don't say I lie, man. Don't say I lie.
The first thing is Allen sucks. And once you operate off that, it's a lot easier.
I wanted him to call in because I wanted to see exactly what he was gonna poke the bear with, but it is what it is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's Dylan Tereman. Go subscribe to his channel. Cheer Dylan up. All right. He needs some more subscribers. Go get him some. We're back tomorrow, 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. Will Parkinson is our scheduled guest. Fireman Ed is golfing this weekend, so he's flying in Sunday morning to be back for the game, for the Panther game. So he's not with us tomorrow. We'll have Will on instead, and then tomorrow afternoon should be a Nick Faria cameo as well. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks again to DT, and again, hang in there, Jet fans. We're all in this together. Go Jets.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.